Hi everyone, how are you?
Hi, good, good.
9 बजे निकला तो 9 बजे 9:30 वही यहाँ
Guys, can we request to please turn on the face cams? Because this session is about the AI and we don't want to talk to the AI. We want to talk to the real people. Hi Madhur, hi Drishti.
Hello.
Hello.
Let us wait for some few more people. Meanwhile, guys, this is the I hope you are able to see my screen.
Yeah, your screen is visible.
Yes, I can see that.
So guys, this is the WhatsApp group which we have created for you guys, where we will be sharing the prerequisites of the session today, which we are going to start in few minutes. So I request you all to quickly join this group, right? And I'll be sharing the prerequisites here very soon. So quickly join the session. Cool. I see people are joining. I want to see the more people there. Guys, again, I'll request everyone to please turn on the face cam. Hi, Arun.
Hi, Yogesh.
How are you?
Yeah, fine.
I'm gonna say hi to those people only who's going to turn on the face cam, otherwise I'm not going to say hi. Hi Raktam, how are you? Hi Rakshit.
Good.
Hi Yogesh, hi Raktim.
Hello, Yakshit.
So guys, again I'll request everyone to
Hi,
please join group. Hi Arun. Rakshit join the group. Okay. There's a background noise coming from someone. Uh yeah, it was MD. Yeah, cool. I see people joining. By the way, guys, how many like you guys have registered from the website? How's the website? How's the process you saw? Any feedbacks on the website? I see Mudit giving me thumbs up. Guys, कैसे AI हैं ये सारे यहाँ पे? मतलब have boats came in? Their otters came in or what?
Like the website, Yogesh.
Cool. So the thing is, I just want to know that what do you guys think that how much time it would have taken to, you know, bring this website from nothing to the domain and to live? How much time span it would have been?
A week?
Okay. More responses, I expect.
One day, like with
One
AI.
day. Okay. Mudit says one day. What about others, yeah? Triveni, Vishnu, Rakshit, Manisha, Pavan, Prateek, Shruti, Tyasha. many more people. I can't take a name of everyone.
I think around a day, like someone said with AI.
Okay, okay,
One
cool.
week.
1 week. Okay, okay. More.
Maybe 2 weeks.
Maybe 2 weeks. Okay. Okay. So here the magics come in. By the way, guys, those people who have just joined, I like to tell them that you must be seeing a QR code on a screen. So please join this group ASAP because we are going to share some prerequisites which you need throughout the session into this group right now. And yeah, so without that, you'll not be able to, work on the AI which Raktim sir is going to talk about. So that's why I'm saying again and again, guys, I don't want you to miss out anything into the session. Keep your sorry. Yeah, Pradyuman. Yeah. So the thing is, I don't want anyone to miss out anything. Whatever doubts you have, take your notebooks, pens, keep your doubts ready, keep your thoughts ready. Meanwhile, I just want to know from the people that has anyone made something on the AI which they can showcase? No one? I expect then this session is gonna be for the like as its name says AI tools 101. So it's gonna be like that only that people don't have much knowledge about the AI over here because no one is responding.
Yeah, Yogesh, I have used Windsurf,
Oh,
related
okay.
to, related to like, the code will be generated. Like if you put the prompt and it will
Mhm.
generate to like HTML, CSS, React file. So we can implement.
Okay.
Another I have used like Galileo AI, where we can like design, like if you put the text, it will provide the information. If you put the images, it will provide the related to designs. Right. Another have UWizard, also good platform, so we can create the design. So there are three AI tools. I know that even like a Chat GPT also provided some information that people will not act right.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. Can we see something around what you have made?
Uh, I have made some things, but don't have file here. So just for I even taken from idea basically for related to like how to process I have to follow. I will sharp I can share my screen.
Okay, no worries, no worries. We will talk about that in a more brief and in a more details when Raktam will be starting the session, right?
Sure.
So I see people are still joining, so we will wait next another 5 minutes. We will start the session sharp at 4:15 now, right? But guys, again, I request everyone, like whosoever, whatever is possible, please come on a cameras. Please, uh, interact with other people because this is gonna be a interactive session, right? And I want you guys to focus on the screen, like none of your mobile phones and everything. Say bye to your friends, say bye to your family, say bye to your maybe fiance, maybe wife, maybe husband, maybe girlfriend, boyfriend. But yeah, stay focused on the screen. बोल दो भाई, 2 घंटे के लिए शांति छोड़ दो हमें.
We are single, Yogesh.
Oh, so sad.
Don't need to worry about it.
Hey, hi
So we
Vinay.
are totally focused here. Hey, hi, Yogesh. Hey, Raktim. So don't worry, we are totally focused here. So yeah.
I can't see you, Vinay.
Okay.
Yeah, hi.
Not look so good today because I
No
was
You're
worries.
sleeping.
good.
Just wake up. It's alarm for me. But yeah.
Good, good, good. Okay, I see people are joining. So, guys, again, I say that you must be able to see the screen. You must be able to see the QR code on a screen. So quickly join this group, because this is where you are going to get the prerequisites of the session, which is going to start in next 5 minutes. And without that prerequisites, you'll not be able to, match the like you'll not be able to use the tools. Meanwhile, when Raktim sir will be sharing and talking about the AI, I see people are joining group, but everyone haven't joined yet. So guys, that's why I'm saying please join this group quickly. Because at 4:14, I'm going to stop sharing the screen and Raktim sir will start, and then you'll not be able to join the group. And as I said, you'll not be able to join the group, you'll not be able to, you know, get the assets, get the prerequisites, get the AI things, which you are going to get today. By the way, any other people have shared like, their experience with the AI. Anyone else who wants to share their experience for the AI? What they have achieved, what they have made, what the knowledge they have, maybe the tools.
Yes, recently. Hi, Yogesh. Can you hear me?
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, Ashif.
Recently, I have collaboration with one founder. They have a really great thought. They just want to implement with the help of AI.
Oh,
Uh, yeah, they just want they just want to create the one application that called the project management application, and that's all the things which included with the AI, like everything it will be depend upon the AI prompt. Like if you are the project manager, if you are a company CEO, and if you want to check the status of any project, so that AI will help you let you know the status of the project, who is working and what is the status and what is the pending. Everything will be everything will state every status you can see through the AI, and that is really going to be a huge project. But right now I am just collaborating with them. Let's see what's happening once they are developed and ready for marketplace. So
cool. Ashif,
that
have you joined the group?
which one?
Which is visible on a screen?
Yes.
Okay, so I would really like to see once it's ready. Like once it's ready, you please share that into that group so
Yeah,
that we
sure,
all can
sure.
see.
Definitely, I'm going to share with you as well. And really, I don't see any kind of application that reflect with the Jira. Like you know about the Jira and most of the application they called for managing the project. So, but all the things you have to do in the manually. But the AI, but this application is going to be it's going to help to your help to your AI application. So it will be effortless to your managers and team and company CEO as well. So they just need to enter the right prompt in the entire application, and they will get all the things in the quickly.
Understood, understood. Cool.
Yes.
Thanks, Ashif. Yeah, Vishnu, you want to say something?
Yeah, so I've been lately using Claude and Mobbin, a combination of these two for like rapid wire framing. And apart from that, I have used Galileo AI. So I've been working into a B2C freelance project where we are like trying to keep things anonymous for people and they can share something freely in terms of workspace, right? So right. So I've been using lately Claude for UX writing and Galileo AI to see what other apps are doing and how we can use it better. So that ideation part is where that manager and designer tussle happens. So I'm trying to solve that and has been pretty effective so far. Coming to V0 and all, I haven't used this that much, right? So yeah, that's more of that ideation space I've been active with using AI tools.
Makes sense, makes sense. So Vishnu, you also have joined the group?
Yeah,
Cool. I would like to see this once it's live. I would like to see this in a group so that we all can access it. It's a B2C, right?
yeah. It will be available for you guys too.
Cool, cool. I would be happy to subscribe on it, even if it's a paid one. Because this is the
Sure, sure.
struggle this is the struggle of the corporate everyone face, that everyone needs to be on the same page, right?
Yeah,
Galileo
yeah,
is the
yeah.
really awesome. Galileo is the really awesome application for the UI UX designer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is my personal
I'm actually,
experience that
yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
yes, you can.
Because I was saying I was
Okay.
going to write a case study on ideation as well. So it will drop in this coming week or next
Ah,
week.
For sure, yeah.
amazing, Vishnu.
Thanks.
I see people are still not joined some joined group. So guys, last 1 minute screen is going to be closed of mine. Raktim is gonna take over from here. So those who haven't joined the group yet, please join it quickly because I'm going to stop sharing my screen within 1 minute. And I still see people are not on cameras. Please, guys, I request come on cameras so that we can see that we are not talking to the bots, we are talking to the real people.
Nice to
Because
see a lot of familiar faces. Zainab, Arun, Drishti,
Rakshit,
Nilesh. Hi, hi. Shuro is here, okay. Rakshit is here. Amazing. Shiva is here. Tiasha is here. Vinay, amazing. Nice to see a lot of familiar faces.
cool.
How are you all?
Over to you, Mr. Raktam. I'm stop sharing my screen. Please take
Thank
over
you.
the floor. Thank you.
Awesome. We'll get started then. Okay, so it seems like majority of the audience has not played with AI as much, but some of you have, and like Vishnu and I think it was Ashraf who was talking about it earlier. Would love to see what you have created and see where you are in the AI infused processes that we are evolving for, right? So the talk today is about AI infused design. Um, so we are designers primarily. Um, I have been designing for over 12 years now, almost 15 years. Um, have designed for bigger clients, and I have been primarily a product designer over the years. But with AI coming in, and a lot of changes that is happening, I truly believe that design is going to go back, or is starting to go back to how designs used to happen back in the 90s. What I mean by that is that with the evolution of tools like Figma, Adobe XD, etc., uh, in the middle of 2010s, 11s, 12s, I would say, around that time, the process really shifted to doing UI and visual design first, and then following up with system design, or maybe doing that simultaneously. And there was a big handoff process. There is still that process wherein we have the handoff process, but all of these is going to come together with AI coming in. And that's why I think it is important to talk about how AI can be infused with the practices of design and product development in general. So the topic for today is about AI being infused in the design processes. So we're going to talk about all the 5 planes of user experience briefly, and how AI can be used in each plane of the user experience design process. And then we're going to talk about what is beyond the 5 planes, that how in beyond the 5 planes that the AI can fit in. Having said that, let's get started, and welcome to the group where we will talk about mostly about AI and how you can make your lives easier, make yourselves more productive and valuable using AI going forward in your roles for yourselves and individually as well. I will be pretty active in the group, answering any questions and anything that I can help you with. And I would also be happy to connect with you individually if you want to talk anything that you want to talk about. We are open to talk about anything, except girlfriend issues. Okay, so then the 5 planes of user experience. I'm sure you must have seen this diagram before as designers in some point of your life. How many of you have seen this before? How many of you are aware of the 5 planes of user experience? Can I get a raise of hands, please? Okay, awesome, awesome. Okay, quite a few of you. Amazing. So, Jesse, for those who are not aware of this, Jesse James Garrett, um, the man behind a lot of user experience design that we do today, um, coined this 5 planes of user experience design, and which starts from the base to the top. So, ideally, in a product cycle, anything and everything starts with a strategy, moves into scope, then the structure gets developed on top of it, and then you have the skeleton, which is the UI and the interface and the navigation and things like that, and then you have the final surface, which is what you interact with, you know, eventually. And when I say surface, visual design is just a part of the design bit. This is also an overlap where development comes in, front end development particularly. But how does AI fit into all of these, right? In the strategy stage, we are mostly doing user needs and business objectives. How can AI help you with business user needs and business objectives? We're going to talk about that. In the scope stage, we have functional specification and content requirements. How can content requirements uh, be generated or created or sharpened using AI? How can functional specifications be clarified using AI, edge cases, and things that bite you in later in the project? Then we have structure, and in the structure, we have interaction design and information architecture. Again, interaction design, how does AI play a role in interaction design and information architecture? And then we're going to talk about interface design, navigation design, and information design, and the skeleton and the visual design and the surface planes, where a lot of things are going to get a lot mumbled from, a comparative to what we have been doing so far in our careers. So let's look at each stage, each plane, and look at some of the tools and what capabilities that these tools can bring in. Now, keep in mind the focus for this workshop is to give you a great introduction to AI so that you can get started with wherever you are comfortable. But this is just a handing block so that if you are somebody who is very much deeply involved in any of these planes of user experience, you can integrate AI into your work, plug and play right today. So in the strategy stage, when we are doing user needs and business objectives, we are doing a lot of research, be it internal or external research. And there are two sources that I really find very, very useful in terms of finding and doing the user needs and the business objectives part. One is Claude 3.5. I'm sure you must have used the Claude LLM, which is an Anthropic's premium LLM. And what crawl can do is for you to analyze user data. It can take in a lot of user data, analyze it for you, identify patterns, if any, and then help align with what those business objectives are that you would have probably decided in a boardroom. Uh, and then with user needs to form comprehensive and strategic recommendations. So it will take into consideration all the user needs that have come out from the research without explicitly doing a step, and then give you strategic recommendations that align with your business goals. This can all be done with prepping cloud a lot, to and fro. And what in my experience I have seen is that in more often times, it will cover some cases, some edge cases where you probably, as a human in a meeting room and with your regular jobs and with traffic and everything else put together, you might or inevitably will miss. But when you play it around with cloud and nurture it down, you will get a lot more insights around that. We tend to find a lot of research, in this particular part. We have a lot of documents to look at. We have competitors. We have research data, papers, so many things. Now, it is sometimes very overwhelming when everything that was to be delivered was yesterday, and you still have to consume all of those research and then do certain things. But Notebook LLM is a great tool, and I'll show you a quick demo on Notebook LLM as well, um, wherein you can just keep in your sources. You can add your sources from different areas. It could be a document, it could be a PDF, it could be a website, it could be a link, it could be a YouTube video, or any video for that matter. It could be an audio, it could be a transcript, anything for that matter, any source of information that you have. And imagine I'm talking about volumes of information, gigabytes of information. As an individual designer or a researcher, it would be absolutely very overwhelming to consume all of that data, retain and filter, and make sure that you have the right insights going forward. There are processes. We have been doing that for so many years, but AI makes your life much easier and faster. Um, does it do it better? It does. It may not. It is just like a kid, which needs guidance at every point in time. And you being the adult, you tell about what it needs to do. So Notebook LLM is great for summarizing data, organizing any materials that you have, generating insights out of those, creating summaries and briefs for your executives or FAQs or questions or documentations later on. And it will help in engaging collaboration because it's a completely collaborative tool. Um, so all you need to do is go to notebooklm.google.com and you would be, let me log out actually. Mm. Into Notebook LM, you will be logged in. I have a few projects already. I've experimented a few bit. This is one of my accounts. So once you log in, you will be getting a blank view. Mine have a few of them, but you can create a new one. And I'll just open an existing one so that I can continue with the demo. But you can create a new one, and once you create a new one, you will be greeted with a blank interface like this. You can add your sources. You can add whatever sources you have. It could be a Google Doc, slides, website, YouTube. It could be a copied text for that matter. You could upload your sources from PDF, Markdown, audio file, etc. What have you. Any resource material, any research material that you get that is relevant to this, you put it here. And right now, there is a limit of 50 sources that you can put in. um, but I'm hoping, and Sundar has already announced that this is going to only expand. This product is only going to expand in the future. So once you put those in, now this was the research that I was doing regarding a pet management application that I was trying to research on. And you see, I have put in a lot of resources. Some are copied texts, pasted text. Some are YouTube videos. Some are links and so on. Now, it can give me a complete summary of the entire research bit, right? It can give me a note. It can give me a study guide. It can give me a briefing document. It can give me some FAQs if I want. It can give me a timeline, and I can keep asking questions as well. So you see, I have some question suggestions as well. What key features should a successful pet app prioritize? Let me ask this question and see if from the resources I can get some kind of an answer. Um, it will take some time to go over your resources, go over your video and everything, and then it will give you some kind of an answer. And as you see, these are some kind of answers that are out there. Now you can ask for financial questions also. Let's say you have the data in there. You can ask for what is the pet market size. I type bear market size, sorry. Should have been pet market size, but anyway, let's see if they can understand. Yeah, it can. So it's talking about the pet market size overall. As you can see, it's given me some statistics, and these are recent statistics. And if you go to these, you'll be able to see what sources it is picking the data from. So you can verify them that they are correct or not. Oops. And then it tells me about the different market sizes by continents and all that. Let me ask India specific data. And now it has given me some data with regards to India. And here you go. There you go. It's talking about what is the size of the market. It's talking about CAGR. It's talking about Asia Pacific region and so on. So you see how this is really helpful. I mean, any researcher who would want to see this tool can really understand that this is a gold mine where you can keep information, asking information and so on and so forth. You can keep delivering all of those information that is coming out. Um, Another cool feature is you can ask it to make an audio podcast of it, and it will give you a podcast around this entire topic. You can stop the podcast, ask questions like you would generally ask a question. Imagine you are in a you're watching a podcast live, and you can stop the guest and stop the speakers and ask your questions, clarify about a certain topic or thing. So as you can see, user needs and discovery of things, what you are doing essentially in strategy, can really connect with Notebook LLM and Cloud 3.5. Moving ahead, then we have the strategy stage where you're doing the other thing that I want to talk about is AI agents. You can integrate AI agents into your workflow. That is not in scope of today's work, but today's topic, but we can probably do a separate talk on AI agents and how to create your AI agents. But an AI agent would look something like this. An example here is that you have a chat message that is received. There's an AI agent which uses a LLM and some kind of other tools, and then does something and puts it back on Notion. Now, these are processes that you would do mundane activities every day, and you can automate them using an AI agent. You can also make it AI agents smarter and make it a lot of seamlessly integrate that into your workflow. Now, why this is important is because there are certain mundane activities when you're usually doing strategy work in user needs and business activities, business objectives. Um, so some of those mundane works can be very easily automated and AI agented. You can streamline your processes. You can have customized workflows for everything, depending on your company, depending on your culture that you're working in, and it will enhance your productivity a lot more, giving you the time that you need to do more high value work where your input or your presence is more required rather than copy pasting data from, let's say, website to an Excel sheet or whatever. Sometimes we have to do that. Going on to the next stage, which is the scope plane, where you can do functional specification and content requirements. Now, this is these tools are not that you don't know, but I'm down to point you towards specific GPTs here. So the first is the Chat GPT, where you have three custom GPTs, which are publicly available. Is the AI diagram designer. Then we have the design sprint, and then we have the secondary research bro. Somebody named that very cool. Secondary research bro. And then you have Claude, where you can put in specific prompts, and we will share prompt libraries for Claude as well in the group later on, which you can make use of to get right details, functional specifications, user stories, content requirements, and then define them with clear features and needs and steps of implementation going forward. For the ChatGPT auto chatbots, custom GPTs that are there, we have the AI diagram designer, which helps you create visualizations of functional specifications and system requirements. So once you have refined your functional specifications and system requirements offline in in a team setting or in a meeting settings. You can put in the documents out here, and AI diagram designer can actually visualize that for you, so that when you're talking to higher ups maybe, or you're talking to stakeholders, you can use those visualizations to really influence your talk, or not influence your talk, but to really give a valuable talk on that matter, and really enhance and make it very easy to understand for the stakeholders. I have personally used the AI diagram designer in communicating a lot of those functional specifications and system requirements that affect design, usually with stakeholders. And these visual diagrams are great for understanding complex things in a very simple and visual way, especially in a room setting. Then there is design sprint. For those who do design sprints in your companies, in your work, design sprint is a great GPT because it can actually help you plan out the entire design sprint, from the beginning to the end. For those who have run design sprints or participated in design sprints, you would agree that design sprints require a lot of planning, and design sprint GPT is a great tool to nurture your data, nurture your team settings, environments, knowledge, and knowledge levels, activities that you can do in design sprints, and so on, uh, to go on there. Secondary research, bro, it helps you gather and analyze requirements for your research. There's a lot of research that you can put in, and how do you make sure that if those research can actually generate or equate to a requirement, that scenario is sometimes that is really good at secondary research bro is good at doing it. But LLM, which I showed you earlier, is a more recent tool that came out. Secondary research bro used to be my preferred way of doing it previously, but now since a Notebook LM has done it, Notebook LM does it a lot better job at it, and is much more comfortable because it's like a project that you've created and you have all your repository and things like I was showing you earlier. Um, Next, moving on, then we have the structure stage where you have interaction design and information architecture. Those who are aware of object-oriented programming and object-oriented user experiences would know that it is a little different than traditional user experience practices, especially for designers. For those who have programming and coding background, you would understand what object-oriented programming is. It's nothing to do with it's nothing to do with with the design process per se, but a lot of those concepts are taken into object-oriented UX, and a lot of those heavy lifting in terms of thinking around organization structure, cardinality, relationships. Zoe can help you with all of that. The more context that you provide, and later on I'm going to talk about this and preach about it, is that context is king now. We earlier used to say content is king, but now it is context that is the king. So context is king, and if more context you provide Zoe, the more better you get at organizing and structuring all of those cardinality relationships, mechanics, dependencies, sorts and filters, anything that you have to do with it. Um, then is the AI diagram designer. This creates flowcharts and diagrams to visualize interaction patterns. So any interaction patterns that you would want to visualize, especially thinking from going from a nested objects, from a nested page to another nested page, or to another object page. um, how do you visualize those based on whatever research or whatever discussions that you've had in your team? If you can document all of, or not document, or you can get a transcription all of that, and you can fit into the AI diagram designer, it can exactly replicate all the discussions in terms of visual flows and diagrams that you've done. Database designer. Uh, Again, database designer is very helpful for those who want to do development going forward, and AI infused development is going to really help. And as designers, primarily, we need to have an idea about what the database is going to look like, so that you can design the appropriate attributes in your application. So database designer really helps you structure the data relationships and information architecture, and ties it with your object maps and the data and the actual database table that the developers are going to be developing for. If you are going into AI infused development later on, and which we will do today later in the part, database designer is a great tool to get a database structure for your app that you're trying to design for or develop for. Again, Cloud 3.5 Sonnet, I already talked about that. One thing that I must point out, Cloud 3.5 Sonnet can actually do computer use now, which means that it can access tools like Marmite diagrams, and Marmite diagrams are really great at drawing user flows and process flows and any kind of flow diagram for that matter. And then we get into skeleton, where you have interface design, navigation design. Vinay will come back to you in a minute. Interface design, navigation design, and information design. And over here we have UI prototyping tools. Figma, we all have used it. Figma AI, I'm sure many of you must have tried it. Doesn't really do a very good result at it. But honestly speaking, Figma AI, Uzerd, UIZerd, I don't know how it is pronounced, but let's call it Uzerd. Motive AI, Galileo AI, these are the four front runners in terms of generating interface layout and navigation structures uh, when it comes to traditional way of designing things. And there is a delta here, which I'm going to talk about when I'm going to talk about the AI development space. But just know that these are the four tools that are able to go ahead and generate use AI to generate designs off the top. Uh, okay. And then we have surface visual design, and visual design is going to look a lot different from from how it is today. It will look a lot different from what how we do it today. So there are new tools in the block with V0 by Versal. Some of you have used it. Bolt.new, and then there are two AI powered IDEs, which is Cursor AI and Windsurf, which can actually help you do visual design, refine your design, and make sure. Show me a raise of hands for how many of you have seen those scenarios where you have designed something in Figma, and the devs or the front end, when they developed it, looked a lot different than what you designed in Figma. Has that happened to you? Yeah, yeah. So here's an anecdote, and here's a story that I'll tell you about. There was somebody that I know from in this group who was having the same problem with developers refusing to do certain things in terms of for better user experience. I'm sure that is on another scenario that you must have seen and felt. You must have designed a lot, put in a lot of thought on something, and the developers would have said, yeah, इसमें तो बहुत time लगेगा. It will take a lot of time. We don't have the bandwidth, or we don't have it is not going to be easy. And then the project owner or the project manager siding with the developer saying, "अरे ठीक है जाने दो इसको simple कर देते हैं, let's make it simple or something," right? There's one guy here who has actually literally done the table. So the scenario was to make a table. Uh, um, uh, the table the types of table where you can arrange the columns, where you can show and hide the columns with controls and filters, and and sort and filters are also there. So that kind of table was needed. Previously, there was a very simple table which did not cut the user experience. So the user experience designer was constantly pushing for a table like that for various reasons, for various everything. Despite a lot of agreement in the team, when it came to development, the developers were like, "नहीं इसमें बहुत time लगेगा. We can't do this in this sprint, that sprint," and it kept delaying. Now, this guy actually went on to the code editor, one of these code editors, designed the table, or rather, I should say, developed the table and designed it according to how he had designed it in Figma, and gave him the code in the company, into the developer. Now the project manager understood and actually implemented it. Now you see the value here and see the wow factor that came in. A designer was pushing for it, developer was rejecting it. Designer felt helpless. Designer developed the code and the table themselves, gave it to the gave it to the table, and you have proved your value. That guy is extremely valued today. And then for continuous, development, supporting implementations, you have Cursor AI and Windsurf, which is again the two tools that we'll be driving in. This is again great for building AI agents, automation flows, and and it can build any kind of an app that you want to. If it is a CRUD app, it can build that. It can keep supporting your implementation, and you can build on top of the existing live or existing app that you have using the two IDEs. Before I go to the quick MVP process, Vinay, I think you had raised your hand earlier. Do you have a question?
Yeah, but you already catered that one. I'll talk to you on later.
Okay. So, okay, then we are going to go for our purposes and for those, for to give you the taste of the AI development space. We are going to do a quick MVP process. We're going to look at a quick MVP process, and then we're going to jump into our toolings, the interesting stuff, where we're going to go and build a quick, small application using the tools that we have. So, quick MVP process. So, start with a solid project brief. Start with a solid project brief. And I was saying earlier, context is king here. So before writing a single line of code, clarity is the key. And this is general. I mean, this is very much well understood by us designers, right? So what we need to do is we will need to sit down, talk about what's the product, and most often than not, if you're working in a professional environment, you will be having all of these data, all of these information from a PM. But if you're working on your own side project, for example, these are things that you need to do. Think like a PM in this case. And that is why I truly believe that in the near future, maybe 2, 3, 5 years down the line, the role of the PM, the role of the designer, and the role of a developer are going to be having a lot of overlap than what it does today. There is going to be some companies would probably also look at somebody who is a hybrid between the three roles, and you'll see why. Uh, Context is king, like I was saying. So before writing a single line of code, clarity is everything. So what you need to do is talk about what your product is. Is it a web app? Is it a mobile application? Is it a browser extension? What it is, right? What is the what is the product? And who is it for? Who your target audience? And what problem does it solve? And what's the main goal of it? You write these insights on a piece of paper, and then you start using AI right at this point, right at this step, to develop a project brief out there. So you can say something like that. I'm working on a web app called Photo Boom, designed to help influencers create their avatars from real photos using AI. Could you assist me in drafting a clear and concise project brief for this MVP? Here are some insights for you, and then you answer, and then you paste in the answers to the questions that you have answered on the left, right? So what the product is, it's a mobile app. Who is it for? Your target audience, Gen Zs, influencers or whoever. Uh, what problem does it solve? What's the main goal? Creates avatars, make them look cool, helps in creating reels or whatever that is, right? So you can type in all of that 10 here, and you will get a project brief from GPT. You can use Claude, it is all the same, or you can use DeepSeek. DeepSeek R1 is pretty good as well. Any of these LLM models will work. Then you can type in, let's talk about the features right now. So generate features with ChatGPT. So building the context. So turning your brief into clear requirements, right? This is where you would be building the context and turning your brief that you've generated in the previous step into clear requirements. Now, I'm telling you this for a side project, but this you can modify the process that I'm going talking about into your real projects, and you can fit in these pieces of information wherever it fits best in your project, in your particular personal process, right? So turn your brief into clear requirements. And you can prompt like something like this, here is a product brief, and then you can paste in the product brief, project brief from the previous step, and generate a list of key features and technical requirements for building this MVP. So this will give you a clear foundation to work with. Right? So that's the next step. Third step is to draft a PRD. Do all of you know what is a PRD?
Guys, please comment.
Product requirement document.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Has anybody crafted a PRD before?
Please, guys, you can put your answers into the chat.
Okay, great. So generating a PRD is the next step, right? So the brain for your AI essentially is what is the PRD in context of AI. And yes, product requirements document is what is the full form of PRD. This PRD is a document where you would list all the requirements of the product, right? So now it's time to organize the features generated in the previous step and create a structured PRD. So what you can do is you can put in all the features that you have put in and ask for it to, give you a categorization of it. So first, before you get into a PRD, you have to have what should go into the PRD. You have just created a random list of all the features that an app like a photo boom should have from generating in the previous step. So you can use a framework like Moscow framework or any other framework that you are comfortable using. I really like the Moscow framework, wherein you are talking about must-haves, should-haves, could-haves, and won't-have, or any other framework that you like in your personal process. I'm all on for it. So the point here being is that to purify or to filter down all from the list of all the previous features that you've listed in the previous step, and get to the PRD, the only things that you are going to build for. So use the framework like Moscow and ask it to, refine this. So you can ask something like here's the list of features, and then you can say, please use the Moscow framework to categorize these features based on their importance for the MVP, focusing on delivering the core functionality quickly and effectively. And then it will go ahead and prioritize this in terms of the Moscow framework, and also give you a reasoning behind why they have prioritized something as a should have, or why they have prioritized something as a won't have, right? And that gives you and probably you will need to do a little bit of to and fro, prep the chat GPT a little bit more up and down, so that you can refine and conclude to a final list of things that you would be building essentially for this particular version of release that you're going to be building. So the Moscow principle comes in handy. Once you have now prioritized them, you can then look for building the PRD. Now refine the feature list. You can refine the feature list even more manually, individually, and then collaborate with ChatGPT model to finalize a detailed PRD. So something like a chat PRD. Um, there is a this thing called custom GPT called chat PRD can help you with that. So now you have to map out the pages and the structure. So building the brain, right? So how do you build the brain? So once the PRD document is prepared and finalized, the next step is to engage with ChatGPT and or any other model and any other LLM, and provide a detailed breakdown of the screens and pages required for the MVP. This breakdown is going to help you in visualizing the key concepts and functionalities of the MVP. So here is a prompt example. Based on the PRD and the core features mentioned, list all the pages and screens in details required to build the MVP. Now, this is where you are taking all the features and requirements from the MVP from the previous steps and defining them into screens and pages. So far, we were not thinking about any screens or pages. See, this is at step 4 that we are only thinking about pages and screens right now. So here are the basic requirements for the landing page. and you can give the requirements for the landing page, whatever the landing requirements for the landing page is. Give me the page layout and use Markdown. This is important. Use Markdown is important because all LLM models read Markdown very well. Markdown is nothing but a format, is a file format. And then you can put another prompt later once you've gotten the details. Give me a wireframe for the same landing page, for example, in Markdown, and it will give you a wireframe around it. You can, if you're not happy with it, you can tell ChatGPT to modify certain things. Of course, you are designers, you have a visual idea around that. And a Markdown, a wireframe would look something like something like something like made in command prompt or something, right? So it's like very basic. And as designers, you have to run your creative juices here to visualize how this things is going to come out, and does it cover everything that we talked about earlier. So do this for all the pages, and then build the landing page using bold.new or v0.dev. There are other tools apart from bold.new and v0.dev, but for today's workshop, we are going to only focus on bold.new and v0.dev to see for that. And other AI tools also works the similar way, by the way. So it is now appropriate moment to start the design process for the landing page by utilizing either bold.new or v0. These tools serve as excellent resources for establishing a robust UI, allowing cursor, which we will be using in the next tooling, to conduct additional refinements. So you can type something like this: intro section of the PRD, just paste the intro section of the PRD into the prompt, and then talk about, we want to start by building the UI first. We will start with the landing page, right? Or whatever page. And then from the previous steps where you got the page description, the landing page description along with the wireframe, just paste it down there. It will build you the same thing. If you have a screenshot, if you have done a more traditional process and done a wireframe on paper or Figma or FigJam or whatever, um, you can take a screenshot of that uh, and paste it right here as well. So it works the same way. Either put a markdown or put a screenshot of the wireframe uh, that you have pre-generated otherwise. And then, spending time to perfecting the landing page is a very important step in the process, because landing page sets the tone for your project. The landing page could be any page. In our application today, we will create a landing page and a very simple application, with that. So spending time with perfecting the landing page, you are going to give the AI your taste. You as designers have developed certain taste um, over the years, right? And this taste have been developed by working in a certain environment, by learning certain things, and so many other ways, right? So your taste is what you are now transferring to the AI. You have provided your brains before, you have provided your thoughts before. Now is your taste. So the landing page sets the tone for the entire project, like I was saying, and nail this, and building the rest of the screens will become much smoother. So iterate it until it feels right, right? Keep iterating on the landing page till the time it feels right. And keep the workflow consistent. So again, it is still in the part of giving your taste to the pages. So generate clear structure for using the chat GPT. Feed it into Bolt and V0 to generate the UI, and use simple prompts to refine, just like you have received numerous feedback over the years on your design, right? I'm sure you must have received feedback on your designs like button ko chota kar do, take the button to the left, or make the button brighter. You must have received or given feedback for that matter. If you're in a senior role, you must have given feedback, something like that. Yeah, let's make this text smaller. Let's change this text from being a H1 to H2, uh, or let's use the ellipse icon here instead of some other icon. Let's use the bin icon here instead of a delete icon, instead of a cross icon or whatever. So you have given this kind of feedback, and you have multiple times received this kind of feedback. This is exactly what you need to do to prep and refine the first output from AI. Now, this is where the friction starts. Most people quit here. Most people think that they would need to give one prompt and the AI should be able to spit out exactly what they were thinking in their brains. But that doesn't work yet, at least not yet. Maybe in the future, but not yet. That doesn't happen that way. You have to set context. You have to give the brain to your AI. You have to give your thinking, your findings, your thoughts to the AI, and then finally also give the taste, which is personal and native to you all the time, right? So your taste that you'd be giving to the AI is what the AI would be generating, and the AI is like a very very dynamic, smart kid, but this kid has very short attention span, ADHD maybe. Um, right? So this kid can focus on small tasks only. So if you tell the kid to do five things, it can probably do all five things capability wise, but it can only remember one thing to do and two other things that it will do perfectly. But the rest of the two things they will forget. I'm sure you must have seen kids like that. Um, राइट बेटा आप क्यों नहीं लिख के आए हो, मैम ने बोला नहीं लिखने का इसलिए नहीं लिखा मैंने, बट वो एग्जाम में आया था। ऐसे टाइप्स के आंसर सुने होंगे ना आपने बच्चों से, आई एम श्योर, right? So this is exactly how AI is, right? You have to keep refining the AI, keep guiding it at steps, and give it feedback like a junior designer, but it has the brains of a senior designer and a developer. And lastly, the last step in the process is build out the entire UI of the MVP. So once you've started building the draft, and you have the first draft of the whole MVP, using Bolt or V0, you don't export it. Uh, so you can export it after that once you have done the MVP, but you don't export it until the time you are happy with what you have done in the MVP. So once the UI is there that you like, that is when you move it to Cursor or Windsurf or any other IDE for adding backend and for refining the front end further if you have to. So don't get stuck at this particular stage. जहां तक हो पाता है, how much ever is possible for Bolt and V0, do till that much in those tools, and then move to Cursor or Windsurf so that you can keep refining and then work on the back end eventually. And last, build with Cursor, so and Windsurf, Cursor or Windsurf, whichever you want to pick. Uh, build the end. So to enhance productivity and collaboration, export the complete code base and commit it to GitHub. Export it, download it from V0 or Bolt or whatever, or you commit it to GitHub from there, and then import it into your Cursor from GitHub directly. So focus on the front-end code to leverage the capabilities of the Cursor tool, and Cursor excels in refining front-end also while also facilitating the integration of back-end capabilities, right? Back-end के लिए Bolt V0 उतना अच्छा they will not work that well. For backend capabilities, API capabilities, and any other backend things related to backend, you will have to come to Cursor or Windsurf so that you can have that better integration between them. Bolt and Lovable have native integrations with Superbase, which is a database service or backend service provider. But that integration is not very smooth. मतलब कभी sometimes it works well, sometimes it doesn't. Depends on complexity and depends on how much volume of things are there. So the best way to do that is rather move to Cursor or Windsurf, open it up as an IDE, and go from there. So that's that for the presentation. I will stop here to see if there are any questions, and then we can start the live session in terms of building the app.
Looks like everyone is too smart. They don't have any question. And and we can say that Raktam's presentation was too good. that it made everyone understand about the AI. So correct me, guys, like which one is the correct scenario?
The
Okay,
presentation
Nilesh.
was on spot actually, to be honest. A lot of my questions
You-
were answered here.
Okay, so you're saying that everyone is not smart, but the presentation was too good.
Yeah. Maybe coming from an experienced person, he know where we have that gap actually.
I
Thank you.
understood.
So
No, but everyone is smart. I'll not say that everyone is not smart. The presentation was also good. And those people are gonna spam my WhatsApp. Hey, तूने कैसे बोला बे? Okay,
Okay, I
so
think there are a few questions in the chat. Let me see. Uh,
English have a question from too long.
mm, does it help to analyze Excel sheet data? Yes, Rakshit, it does. It can take Excel sheet data, it can take Google Sheet data, doesn't matter. PDF, Markdown, any types. Right. Rakshit only support. अच्छा ये योगेश ने आंसर किया. Okay. Nilesh is asking recently ChatGPT launched projects similar to what Notebook LM is doing. What do you think about it? Absolutely, Nilesh, excellent question, and I'm glad that you brought that up. ChatGPT projects does the same thing, um, but in a more disorganized way, I would say. Uh, ChatGPT's interface in terms of keeping them together. So I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute. Is my screen showing? No, right?
Not yet.
Do you see now?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, we have, in ChatGPT projects, you have things like this, right? So you can just add resources and keep more. So if I create a new project, for example, कहाँ से होता है project वाला? Wait a second. मेरा hang हो गया. Shucks. 1 second, guys. I think I should go to the web.
Okay, so meanwhile, AI wouldn't be using. So question to Pooj. Okay, so to Pratik, the answer is V0 is more focused on the components, right? And the UI part, you can say. But when you talk about the cursor, cursor can focus on the background, this backend as well. So you can build the backend functionalities there. You can connect the database as well, right? You can ask them to, give the database queries as well. So this cursor is more focused on like the full IDE. So IDE as in earlier there was a tools when where developer works. So it's more like into their tools the AI is there now. So that's what the cursor is. You can do anything. And if you have a knowledge of the coding by yourself, right? So you can edit the codes and you can write the codes by yourself as well into the cursor majorly. Cursor and stuff. This kind of a things.
आते हैं उस पे भी आते हैं. Before that, to Nilesh, तुम्हारा वाला answer, when you create a project from ChatGPT, right? So you create a project. I just created a Nilesh project here. Now I can add files here. It is the same thing, but you cannot add YouTube links. There are few limitations still on ChatGPT. It is probably a feature that is not fully cooked yet, but in the upcoming this thing, we will have more updates. If you compare that to Notebook LM, I go to add source, see what are the types of sources you can add. You can add a Google Docs or slides, website, YouTube, है ना? Ideally, अगर chat GPT में करना होगा तो you will have to do a YouTube transcription or YouTube something and then give it do the same thing on chat GPT. Yeah, ये रहा. Right, so that's how, and then once you've created the project, this Nilesh project I will delete later, but you are left with something like this. So you can't even, it's very disorganized right now. It's not, it's not great yet, but it will get there. Okay. Did I answer your question, Nilesh?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Okay,
Thank you so much. Yes.
awesome. Uh, Okay. Wouldn't using AI for MVP make our decisions more biased towards just one direction? Pooja Ramesh, no, Pooja, actually not. AI is actually going to give you a lot of more perspective from different directions that you have probably not thought in the first place. And obviously, there is a element of human judgment that needs to happen at each stage. So when I was showing you the steps, this was considering that you would be doing some kind of side projects to get yourself learning. But in your companies or in your roles that you are in, you have to look for the appropriate places where you can integrate AI. It's not like there is a standard process right now. There is one more thing that I want to bring up is that the reason why knowing AI coding is important is that I really think that in the next 2.5 years at least minimum, um, tools like AI, tools like Figma or Protopy are going to go obsolete. No, the process of going from wireframe to to a mockup and then from mockup to prototype and then prototype to front end is going to be cut by half, wherein you are going from wireframe directly to front end code, which is directly usable and deployable. This helps us in two ways. One is because you've cut down on timelines, obviously, and the second part is you have the opportunity where you keep iterating, and when you are testing, if you're doing a user testing, you are giving them a real front end to interact with rather than a prototype. How much ever perfect you make the prototype on Figma or Protopy or whatever, it is still a prototype. And a coded front end is way different than a prototype. It will always be, right? So the experience of getting inside and have seen this myself, the difference of opinions or answers or I should say garbage data that comes in from a person when you're doing user testing using a prototype versus a front end real code is very highly contrastingly different, right? You will not have to come up with things like comments like from a user like ये blue blue क्या आ रहा है? When you do user testing with a prototype, that highlights come, right? Where sometimes if you don't haven't turned it off or maybe something like that. ये blue blue क्या आ रहा है? So ऐसे type of questions, this is distraction. This is distraction to the user. This is distraction to the person who is doing the user testing. This is distraction to the observers who are looking at the user testing. So yeah, so quite honestly, MVP and decision making there is a lot of human control here. What I showed you is just where you can integrate AI. It is up to you where you want to integrate AI at the end of the day. Okay, Uday says pretty good presentation, clear and crisp. Thank you. Pooja, by the way, did I answer your question? Are you there?
Pooja, you're not audible. She's speaking something, but she's not audible.
Oh, okay. Okay, we can't hear you, Pooja, still, but if you have a question, then you can type in. Okay. Um, Pratik is saying, I have a very dumb question. What's the difference in capabilities between tools like Cursor and V0? It's not a dumb question, Pratik, at all. And in fact, no question is a dumb question. But the difference between capabilities like Cursor and V0 are contrastingly different. Cursor is a IDE, which is like an integrated development environment. This is the tool used in development, right? IDEs, and I mean, not Cursor is not the D tool, but IDEs are the tools that are used in, in coding. And V0 and Bolt are just a wrapper on some IDE that is being displayed on the web, right? And it does not have all the capabilities and powers that the IDE have. The IDE has powers of having a terminal. The IDE has powers of installation and accessing your computer directly, which the V0 does not have because it's browser based. Something similar to having Word on your Word तो बहुत अच्छा basic example हो गया, but ऐसे समझ लो Word is on your computer and you have Docs on your browser. Two very very different capabilities thing. Why are we thinking in terms of backend and frontend at this stage to bridge the gap from coders? RBH, the answer is not about at this stage. Ideally, when you are designing, even today, with or without AI, you should start from the system design. And if you haven't started from system design, your designs will certainly inevitably have some or the other problem. Not your designs per se, but your application will have most certainly a problem. Um, in the earlier, like I was telling in the beginning of the presentation, design is going to go back to lot of the ways how in the 90s the design used to happen, where system design used to be dictated first, and then the UI and the polishing would happen. All right. So it is important for us to understand this. And when you have information and you have context about backend and front end, when you're designing both at any stage for that matter, you have better context of what is the cardinality, what is the dependency, what kind of sorts and filters, what kind of dependencies are going to be there. Are there going to be data privacy issues? Where is the data coming from? What is the origination? All of these answers that that you should be asking as a designer is auto answered for you. I hope that helps. Nilesh, I have been using projects and I agree to it. It's very disorganized. Okay. Shruti. Hey, Shruti, nice to see you. Long time.
Hello, hi sir.
How are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
Good as well. So I know for the first time learner, it seems dumb to ask, but if I may ask, what are the key limitations of Notebook LM that I should be aware of? हाँ, key limitations यही है कि 50 sources तक ही allow करता है. There are 50 sources only that it will allow you for right now. But in a realistic project, let's say you are working on a very big enterprise project, you are most likely and you will definitely have more than 50 sources. So that's the biggest limitation of Notebook LM. But that can be countered by having all of those data synthesized and generating more content using the Notebook LM from, let's say you have 100 sources, you divide this into 50 and 50, है ना, दो notebook LM बना लो, उससे insights निकालो, take all the insights out from both of them, document those insights, and then feed it to another chat GPT, something like a chat GPT projects then.
Yes, yes, got it.
Right? Because ChatGPT does, this is the difference. The ChatGPT projects doesn't have a limitation in terms of the number of sources, but it has a limitation in the types of sources. So the problem is that this side has some limitations, that side has also some limitation. You have to work with both the limitations and make it the best thing for you.
Yes, yes, I got it.
Awesome. Sahana. Hi, Sahana. What would you recommend for someone who is a product designer to get started with? I am someone with no coding knowledge and would like to get well versed in building. Um, Sahana, can you be a little more specific around when you say product designer? What is it that you do per se in your role?
Hi, so I'm Sahana. So currently, I'm in a part of the team of the product design where we
Hmm.
interact with the engineers and sort of basic UX, UI, and sometimes also suggest features and yeah, very, product oriented for now.
Hmm. Hmm.
And we also have, web development sometimes and but not I don't entirely interact with or do the coding part of it. So
Hmm.
I want to, get to know how I can use these AI tools to build something on my own and
Yeah.
probably be of better use for product teams.
Yeah. So, when I was showing you what tools and what are the things that you can do in the different five planes of the user experience, I'm sure, you must have related to a lot of the activities that you do where AI can come in. With regards to developers and communicating with developers, the more you talk to developers and more you understand what they are trying to code about, how they are going to do about it, what is the database structure, what are the things, the more it is going to help you in building your applications. With regards to AI, learning about AI, start learning about how to generate context. Like I was saying, context is king. And use that context. That's the first part, and then second part is to use that context to get derivatives and answers for you. Now, example, Sahana, for you, when you are talking to product owners or PMs and developers, you may be suggesting certain thing basis your understanding or your hunch or whatever that is, right? Um, if you have well-rounded answers to it, it is going to be very difficult to cut you down. Right now, I'm sure without the AI and without a lot of experience, you would have faced a scenario where uh, सुनने में तो सही लग रहा था but somebody cut it down, so I can't do that, but it would have been a great idea had they done it. Those kind of ideas would have been cut down. Or maybe I designed in a certain way, a certain thought, but the product owner wants it in a certain other way. He thinks it that it is important for him to put it that way, but you have reasonable evidence to prove that what you have done is right. All this AI can become your evidence in later on, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So it depends, Hannah. Actually, there is no one fixed answer for, for your question. But it depends. There are a lot of other AI tools. What AI you're going to use for what thing is absolutely up to you. That is why I showed you what those five planes are. If you're doing research, you can use AI, notebook LLM and all of those things. If you're doing something like a prototyping and things like that, you can use Figma AI, Galileo AI, and all of that, and start, getting your advances or getting your interests build or taste build towards Bolt and V0 and things like that. So it completely depends on where you want to leverage AI for your advantage,
All right.
right?
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. uh okay, Pooja says understood, thank you. Nilesh, apart from observations while we try finding a problem around us, I want to know from you what good practices you do while identifying a problem. Maybe your process of identifying problems, and then understand initially whether it can have a PMF or not. That's a very broad question, Nilesh. I think we will talk about it separately offline, but that is not in scope for today. Okay, we can connect on offline for that. Uh, प्रद्युम्न ये तुम्हारा इसका अच्छा don't have much idea about coding, have basic junior PM level understanding of process. Okay, if designing for company, should I get to know what is the developer's process, language framework, how they manage APIs, DB servers, etc. But what language do bold and cursor use? Should I learn any? Uh, the good thing about Bolt, Cursor, and all of these AI tools is they know all the languages. You don't have to teach them Next.js or React or Python or anything for that matter. They know all of them. The other thing that you are asking about is is designing for company, should I get started, get know what the developer's process is? Absolutely. If you still don't know what is the tech stack that that your company works in, I would say कल ऑफिस जाते ही पहले ही पता करो ये चीज. First thing you need to learn tomorrow once you go to office is this. What is your tech stack that you're working in? It is not because you have to develop on that tech stack, but tech stacks have certain limitations, certain capabilities that you can leverage later on for your designs, for your building better experiences, and also getting to know about where, if you really want to interested in the coding side of things, you have a direction in which technology should you invest your time and efforts in, right? Does that answer your question, Pradyumna?
Yes, Raktan. I got
Okay,
it. Thank you.
awesome. Rakshit, how do you verify the code health when we are building an MVP? There are instances when the coding team or software engineers just want to start the code on their own. Just want to start the code on their own. देखो कोडिंग हेल्थ के लिए ना अभी रक्षित we don't have anything as such. But soon, very soon, things are changing. LLM models are getting better and more powerful. And I honestly feel that the whole QA process, be it a smoke test, be it a unit testing, any kind of, the QA process में जो कुछ भी आता है, everything in the QA process will one day be taken by an LLM and an AI, right? With regards to development and design, AI is not going to take all the roles, but AI will certainly kill all the junior roles. So I don't know if you have seen the interviews from big tech founders across the world, and they have already identified, example Zuckerberg ने अभी बोला that next year we are not hiring any engineers. Amazon is also not going to hire any more engineers coming to, I mean, आज से 2025 से. They are only going to have lead designers. They are not going to be any junior designer. That position is gone. That position is obsolete आज के date में, and from 2025 onwards. Same thing is going to happen to designers. Junior designer, we don't need a junior designer. A junior designer who can just make some Figma, and then I also have to give the feedback to this guy. I don't need this guy. That's what the companies are thinking. I would rather much have, say, a guy who is designing, who is able to do active contribution to PM management roles, and also is able to manage AI, and also is able to manage coding, right? So that's the evolution that is going to happen. That has already started happening. If you follow a lot of the Western tech folks from the FANGs and not just the FANGs, but also the big tech companies, you will see their designers and developers are already writing and talking about it, which means that US में होना चालू हो गया है already. It is already started happening. Um, One quick experience that I want to give you is that there was a recent client that I was talking to. That client actually said that we are going to be canceling Figma subscription for the entire company going forward. And not me, but the other sales guy who was on the call, who asked, what happened, why are you doing that? Now, what is the reason? And then it's a waste of time. We're going to go from wireframing to, live code directly using a V0 and then a cursor. So it is much more economical and faster to do that way. And this is a very big tech company that I'm talking about. It's a छोटा मोटा company नहीं है, right? They are a Fortune 100 company then, not even a Fortune 500. It's a Fortune 100 company that I'm talking about. So you can think कितने लोगों का फिग्मा नहीं चाहिए फिर, कितने उनका डिजाइनिंग का टीम इस ग्रुप से तो ज्यादा ही है, आई एम श्योर, right? Just the design part of their team. So how many people are not going to be using Figma no more in from just one company? And ऐसे तो सिर्फ one company है. There are so many companies who are doing that. So the time for getting into design was in 2022. I mean, up to 2022. If you are getting into design in 2025, it is going to be extremely hard. It is just as hard as if you ask my father to become a pilot today. right? So it is just that.
Yeah, I was actually in reference to what you were telling. So there's a interview of Satya Nadella, I think 12 or 14 days back, where he also mentioned that the Microsoft would also not hire software engineers now. They want to hire people who have AI agents working for them. So they have built their own AI agents, and they'll hire people who can work, who can build more AI agents for them, or do they already have some AI agents working for them. They'll not hire proper
Yeah.
subject matter expert coders into their
AI
organization.
एजेंट वाले AI में एजेंट वाला जो सेशन लूंगा ना उस दिन तो मैं तुम लोगों को और भी अमेज कर दूंगा because there are few things that are going completely out of control right now, and that space is every day there is new innovation happening in that space, so very dynamic that part.
Right.
Vinay, I see your hand raised for a long time. बताओ भाई.
Yes, now it's spinning.
हाँ बताओ sorry.
Just kidding. Okay, so Raktim, the thing is that there's a we all are talking about the AI stuff and everything. Okay,
Hmm.
but there are the few things, there are a few companies or the few clients,
Hmm.
they are still facing some issue, or they are still they're having concern related to the security or something, and they don't want to go towards the AI stuff. Okay,
Hmm.
so in that case, still the things are going manually, or everything is like, so like how you look into that, like how you take it, like is it a right approach? And this is not only for like a single company or something. There is a measure of companies, those are still like realizing they are still in the concern that okay, their security will get compromised if
Hmm.
they put their data on the AI, or they share their stuff on the AI,
Hmm.
so their security will going to compromise.
Hmm.
So
I'll tell
how
you
you
I,
take it?
I'll tell you the exact scenario, but in a different analogy. Okay. Have you seen those pens जहाँ पे refills होते हैं, है ना? Pens, dot pens जिसमें
Hmm,
refill डालना
hmm,
होता है,
hmm,
right?
hmm,
So those the company is just like the pen. Okay. The company
hmm,
has a refill inside it, and it is worried that the refill people will come to know about what kind of refill they are using inside the pen, right?
true. Hmm,
Let's say the pen has blue color ink today.
hmm,
Blue color ink का refill अंदर है ना?
hmm, hmm,
That blue color ink is probably the company's LLM.
hmm,
Right? But there are also pens where you have blue color ka refill and red color ka refill also inside the pen, no?
true. Multicolor pens.
Multicolor pens, right?
Hmm,
So that red color refill is like a cloud or a chat GPT,
hmm,
OpenAI,
hmm,
right? So it is up to you if you want to use a chat GPT or a cloud or a premium API, premium LLM, then you
hmm,
have to pay in context to that, right? If you don't want to use, you can use your own LLM. अभी Zebia में, for example, we have our own LLM in Zebia, right?
hmm,
Um, there are companies who have, and it's not about just ZVI. There are a lot of other companies. I know about Cape Gemini who have they've done their own GPT,
hmm,
their own LLM rather. There is
hmm.
one more company, I think it is Publicis Sapient, who have already worked on
True.
their own
Yep,
this
yep,
thing.
yep. They are.
There's
They are.
ServiceNow who has their own LLM now. So companies will develop their own LLMs also. If you don't want to now, not all companies will have the money, budget, and resource and power to make an own LLM, right? So they are
Hmm,
going to be using the security, third-party LLM also. If you're using
hmm.
a third-party LLM, now concern is with the security, no?
But
If you are
if
using a
we are
third-party
going with
LLM,
sorry to interrupt you here, but if
hmm,
there is some like kind of a subscription panel, the way that we are
आ रहा
taking
हूँ,
from the Figma or something,
आ
so
रहा हूँ,
the security has still get compromised with that thing,
आ रहा हूँ
or
उस पे
like
भी आ
it
रहा
will
हूँ,
be yeah.
आ रहा हूँ उस पे. तो the first of all, if you put an LLM, जैसे चैट जीपीटी हम लोगों ने यूज किया, चैट जीपीटी पे जो है चैट जीपीटी पे वेब पे खोल दिया एंड टाइप किया, those data can get saved by chat gpt, open AI, and be used for their training purposes and all of that, right? If you're using an API,
Mhm.
those data
Okay.
are not likely to be saved by the provider.
The company, the
That's number one.
organization.
That's number one. The second part is, if you're using an API, there are guardrails that has been provided, which will not take on it.
Mhm.
तुमने अगर API डाल दिया या फिर कुछ भी private डाल दिया, वो बोलेगा
Mhm.
नहीं देना है, नहीं डालना है करके, आगे से ही वो
Okay.
बोलेगा नहीं डालना है करके. So security is a concern yet today, and there are multiple ways of dealing with it. There are multiple layers of security that you can deal with it. And also, quite honestly speaking, today it is a very high technical question that you're asking me, which requires a lot more expertise than the kind of expertise that I and you have today.
Yep, agree, completely agree.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Shubro, is N8N an example of a workflow tool that you mentioned? Yes, it is. Also, what's the difference in response types between Cloud 4, GPT-4, Cloud 3.5, and Notebook LLM for UX tasks like macrocopy, color accessibility, WCGAG, color blindness research summaries, which excels at research versus email replies? I have noticed Cloud feels more technical, while GPT is more great for summarization. Ha. So, the best answer for this is you need to look at the benchmarks for each LLM. Now, example के लिए Claude 3.5 Sonnet outscores every other model in terms of coding, but the same model lags way behind ChatGPT when it comes to content creation, right? Text generation for that matter. Right? So you have to look at the benchmarks of different. There is a new kid on the block, DeepSeek R1, which is supposed to be better than even ChatGPT 401. है ना? So you have to look at the benchmarks. And that same R1 does better at math and coding, but does not do better at content creation, text generation and audio generation when you compare that to O1 or O1 this one Pro. Right? So it is about the benchmarks, and there's no fixed answer to that. The other question that you asked is what is the difference between response and A&E? Notebook LLM, by the way, uses Gemini 2.0. Okay. Which और क्या था? I'm missing something. This clock is not. Yeah, I think I
No,
answered your question.
I think
Did I
that
miss
was
anything? Yeah.
नहीं, I think वही था.
Triveni, hi Raktim, just now you said current process is wireframe to prototype or design to front end, later wireframe to front end. Then does that mean design process UI visual will be cut down totally and we should be focused on UX? Yeah, you should focus on UX. UI is going to be a very smaller component, going forward. If you start looking into the kind of tools that are there, the kind of libraries that are there, resources that are there for front end, there is a lot of them. And most companies, most tech, softwares don't want to reinvent the wheel when it comes to UI. UX is going to be primarily the focus. System design is going to be the primary focus. In fact, service design, if you are really interested in another way and you want to look at, अब क्या, what next, you can look at service design. And service design is a field that is going to really, really boom in the future, in the upcoming days, from the design days. So yeah, but UI and visual पे बहुत कम काम होने वाला है आगे जाके, unless you are making artistic product, जिसमें फिर वो art direction में चला जाता है, then that goes into the art direction of art direction. Cool. Does that answer your question, Triveni?
Yeah. Thanks, Raptim.
Awesome. Okay, so we're going to quickly build a small app. I want you guys to log into bolt.new. Let me share my screen. So this is bolt.new. You just need to type in bolt.new over here. And once you log in, you will be having this thing. The other thing that I want you guys to know is that there are tools there. When I just mentioned about Bolt, Windsurf, Cursor, V0, but there are also tools like Lovable. There's also tools like Data Button. There are also tools like bolt.diy. Bolt.new is paid. Bolt.diy is locally hosted and completely, absolutely free. Then there is Pure Code AI, and then there is Project IDX. Project IDX is also free. It's a Google project. I'll show you that as well. So web-based may we have Bolt, and then we have V0. You have v0.dev, right? So you can, when you log in, create a v0.dev, and then we have Project IDX. So idx.google.com. So have you done?
Guys, I
Have
have
you? Huh?
sorry. Guys, I have shared the link in a group which you guys just have joined. In case if someone haven't received it, just ping in a chat. I'll give the link over here as well. And once you guys are logged into the bolt.new, just ping us here, please.
And also, since you're doing that, actually, अच्छा डाल दिया ना तुमने योगेश, ठीक है. V0 का भी डाल दो योगेश. V0 का लिंक भी डाल दो और इनका लिंक भी डाल दो, कर्सर और विंडसर्फ का, so that they can download cursor and windsurf in the meantime. I mean, download start कर सकते हैं ये लोग. Chat GPT खोल लो, and you need accounts for Vercel, Netlify and GitHub. इन सारे का लिंक डाल दो योगेश.
You're on mute.
Sorry. So for the rest of the group, open the links that Yogesh is sharing on the group. Create an account for yourself if you don't have one already. And also on the side, open up Chat GPT in one of the tabs maybe. And also download Cursor and Windsurf. Netlify. GitHub का नहीं डाला तुमने योगेश. GitHub डाल दो.
Guys, I have shared. Uh,
Yeah, once you have done that, let me know. We'll then start with the next steps.
guys, are we done? If anyone has some questions, you can ask. Hey, Vinay, bye.
Bye, bye, Yogesh. Sorry, but I have to drop. I have to go somewhere. Yeah,
No worries,
we'll
no
catch up
worries.
later, guys.
Catch up on
Thank.
posted.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Raktim.
Sure.
Thanks for the session, man. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Vinay. Glad you showed up.
People who are on their cameras, I have noted their name. They'll get some freebies for sure. Some extra freebies on their personal. So Mudit, you're not in a group. You can unmute yourself and speak, yeah?
Yeah, let me check. I'm in the group. I haven't checked it.
Okay, so I have dropped every link over there. You can download it from there.
Uh,
Okay, so I see.
for
Yeah,
cursor, the key it's asking keyboards. So it's saying default VS Code. Um, what is that? I already have VS Code, but
So,
what is this one?
yeah, Shubhro, to answer your question, if you want to import your settings from VS Code over to Cursor so that you have the same keyboard shortcuts and etc., uh,
Ah,
you can do
okay,
that way.
understood. Okay.
Plugins वगैरह कुछ भी ऐड किया होगा ना तुमने VS Code में तो वो सब आ जाएगा.
Yes, yes, yes. ठीक है, understood.
Uday, you can join this group. Once you're joined, I'll share the links again with you.
Okay, Yogesh, thank you.
Okay, I see people are logged in. Okay, so Rakshit is logged in. And meanwhile, Rakshit and Arun is logged in. So guys, you have any question? Rakshit, Arun, maybe.
No, Yogesh. As of now, don't have.
Cool. Yogesh, I just have shared the link for the WhatsApp group. Please check it out once. I got that text from Shiva. Uday.
Yeah, Yogesh, join the group.
Yeah. I'm just sharing you the links. I see other people also joining group. Okay. What I'll do is I'll just share this again in a group. Sorry.
Okay, how many of you are done? Can you show a hand, raise of hands? Okay, Prateek, Shubro, good. Nilesh, okay. Arun, Pooja, good. Shruti, okay. Param, very good. Few people left. चलो ठीक है कर लो.
Shit. I see people have logged in. I'm getting DMs as well uh, about the questions. I've answered them. But if anyone else also have some questions about the login, sign up or something, you guys can ping on our group, on personal. Over here, you can also ask. Open for everywhere. Those who are done, I just want to know from them that are they from a coding background, like from a BTech CS or something?
I am.
Okay, cool. So Sufro, how you feel like coming from a coding background and getting coding done in a minutes like this?
Okay, so
Oh,
um,
sorry, cut it down. For an example, let's say that you are not a designer, right? So if you would have been a developer sitting on this call, what would be your you know कि ये क्या हो गया ऐसे वाला था या फिर मतलब you are okay चल ठीक है something. Want to know your
uh,
expressions about that.
one part that Raktim sir mentioned correctly is that maybe the era where we used to make interfaces and give prototypes can never be as good as real front end interactions. So that can never be. We use Figma, we use radial prototyping, we use prototype, all those every I think most of us have used. We try to upskill our prototyping game for better, and companies also buy those softwares. But now if we can have easy front end code, we can understand the databases much more easier with help of AI. Even as a developer, I feel if I was a developer, then it would help me create prototypes fast. And fast prototype means fast product cycle. So that's a very big benefit for the company, for any startup which wants to excel at a fast speed.
So to answer your question, there are some companies, some sort of agencies who are delivering the MVPs in just 4 weeks, the complete MVP. And the best part is, uh, the, the products are good. I'll say ऐसा नहीं है कि मतलब कुछ भी बना दिया. It's good.
Okay, so should we get started? Can we do a status check?
Yeah, I think we should. Majorly people are done. It's taking time to download.
हाँ उसको थोड़ा टाइम लगता है. That takes a little time. Okay, so we're going to create a simple note-taking app, and we'll go over the process. I'll share my screen again so that we can go to the first slide that I showed you with regards to the process. Now, let's make a web app for the practice. So let's call the web app anything that you want to call and give it some, target audience and problem statement. So answer these questions essentially in your notebook. Once you have answered those questions in your notebook, use the prompt structure like this to get a project brief. Let's start with that. If you have any questions, I'm here. And I've just shared the screen so that you can continuously look at what are the questions and what kind of prompt. How do you structure the prompt? Satya, you have a question or you raised the hand earlier?
No, I raised earlier.
Okay, okay. ठीक है. Let me also do it with you guys sidewise. If the prompt is not visible and you want to see the prompt, let me know. I'll just move this to the right.
You guys must have some ideas into your mind. It's not mandatory that you should follow the only like the prompt
हाँ,
he is
अपने
giving.
अपने हिसाब से करो. मैं तो एक एग्जांपल करने के लिए कर रहा हूँ साथ साथ. But you can do it anyway.
Is there
And
any
maybe you
particular
can
prompt?
share the links. Sorry.
Is there any particular prompt for this?
No, you have to
No.
answer these questions first,
Okay.
and write them as answers in your notebook. And then once you have them, you will use this kind of a prompt structure to feed the chat GPT so that it can give you the project brief. ठीक है? I'm not sure who was asking, but did you get the answer?
Yeah, I got it. Okay.
Oh.
And guys, we would be really happy to see what you guys made. You guys can share the. Can you please move the GPT window for 1 second? Boss, GPT window to the right side, please.
Oh, yeah.
So you guys can, deploy this application and share in a group which you guys just have joined. And if you have any questions, if you need some sort of guidance or something, you can ping. There are people who will be able to help you. Maybe a working application into your portfolio.
Yeah, for those who are doing portfolios and looking for jobs, can I get a raise of hands for how many of you are in that category?
Sorry, can you repeat the question once again?
Yeah, how many of you are creating your portfolios, but probably don't have, good projects or enough projects that you have worked in a team setting or a company setting to show in your portfolio and want to create, custom dummy projects for your portfolio? I see quite a few hands. Insight for you guys. If you create a dummy project, and that we, as hiring managers, we all know that dummy projects may not have that kind of value and a real feel to it, and it's maybe all made up. But when you go all the way and make it really concise, document your understanding, research, etc., using all of these AI tools that we discussed earlier, and show up on your on your portfolio, right? That is going to really take your case study up a notch as compared to any others who are applying for that role. On top of that, if you are able to develop it and deploy it and go make it live, you are a unique and a rare material, my friend. So you see, I have given ChatGPT the prompt by answering. First, I answered the questions. It's a web app. Its audience is teachers and students, and it helps teachers and students arrange and take notes from their daily classes. Right? And my app, I'm working on a web app called NoteSpa, designed to help students and teachers capture their classroom notes. Could you assist me in drafting a clear and concise project brief for this MVP? And I'm using O1. You can use O1 Mini, 4O, any model. If you have the paid subscription, paid ChatGPT, I would suggest you use the O1 because this is the best model for advanced reasoning on ChatGPT. So as you can see now, it's given me a project brief. Project brief, NoteSpa is a web application aimed at designing blah, 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 blah. Okay. So it's given me some MVP feature set. So it's asking me some questions to clarify. This is optional, but like I had mentioned earlier, context is king. If you give more, if you answer these questions, it will take those answers and have more context to give you better outcomes for the project brief and the subsequent artifacts that you're going to be developing. You're on mute, Shubro, if you're talking.
No, I was just reading out the prompt. So that
Acha, acha.
Uday is asking for a prompt, Raktam sir. Can you please share that?
Sorry, who?
Uday.
The prompt is on the right here. I'll just minimize my chat GPT for now. You can see here. Is this done? Can I get a show of hands for those who have done?
Yeah.
Okay, I see 7 people have finished it. Ten. Okay. So for those in the meantime, for while you're waiting for the others to finish, for those who have completed, um, Drishti, Shruti, Pradyumna, um, how is the output that has come up for your project brief, and what is the app that you're building? Can somebody talk about it?
Yes, I think the output is quite interesting. Like, I never thought it at the first place like this, but
Mm,
now it seems interesting. So, for the brief, I am using, like, I am trying to develop a web application
mm,
for a medical for a hospital staff where the doctors and medical students would get notifications regarding their schedules, their duties, and
mm,
the administration can edit that, but it will be a
mm.
view only feature for the students.
Okay, nice. Drishti, Pradyumna, Pooja, anyone want to share?
I can share my one.
Who is this? Who said?
Sure.
Subhru,
Bolo, bolo.
Pooja.
So I actually give the thing to develop a web app that connects students with teachers for tuition services.
Hmm.
This was actually my first UX project.
Hmm.
So that time I never thought of implementing a payment gateway. So
Hmm.
that's something ChatGPT has put out properly in terms
Hmm.
of the MVP and in terms of the tech stack. Also, it has set up to implement things like Twilio or Firebase for communication and chat things.
Hmm.
These were also some things I didn't thought when I was ideating that on 2022, I think, believe.
Hmm.
So yes, interesting. So there, it has laid out the things very properly.
Yeah. So ChatGPT will average out all the requirements that could possibly be for the app or the use case that you are working on. Now, some may be relevant, some may not be relevant, some may be important, some may not be important. That is why we will do the prioritization बाद में जाके. Yeah, anybody else?
Hello everyone.
Drishti.
Hi. So I am building an app for basically business owners or a person who is involved into marketing or social media. Ki
Hmm.
how can they grow their presence in social media? What all kind of content they can post, strategies and all.
Hmm. Okay.
So I'm making an application on that.
Okay. Good. You got the project brief?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Pradyumna, you want to share your output?
Hello.
You want to talk about your output? What app are
Uh,
you building?
yes, yes, yes.
Uh,
So I'm uh, I'm working on a web app for YouTube, curating YouTube videos basically for mentors and teachers and students, so
mm,
that they can create their own playlist and it can be more like a community. Like,
mm,
you can imagine Pinterest, like, but for educational content only.
mm.
So that's what I'm trying to build.
So it's like a Pinterest of YouTube videos, is it?
A Pinterest of YouTube videos, but more of a collaborative like if I'm in a class, like if you are sharing some videos, like
Hmm.
you create a YouTube playlist, right? Uh,
Okay.
or you create a pocket articles,
Huh.
like so it is something like that. But
Okay. Got it. And did you get a good output from the project brief?
yes,
The project brief is making sense to you?
yes.
Awesome. Okay. I'll ask one more person. Let's see whom to ask. Sahana, you done, right?
Yeah, hi. So I am just working on this project. It's a simple web app which lets users upload their photos of their outfits or clothes which they purchase, and it's supposedly an AI which will arrange outfits for you based on occasion.
Hmm.
So if it's like a formal meeting on
Hmm.
a Monday morning, you can
Hmm.
just give that as a as your request, and the app will give you an outfit it created from your wardrobe. So that's what I'm thinking of building.
Nice. That's a potential startup idea. But that's a
Yeah,
good idea.
but
You get a, did you get a good project brief? And is the project brief making sense to you?
it is. I actually do. I'm not using the paid version, it's the free version, so it is pretty good. But one thing I would want to ask is, so for the tech stack, it has given React.js and Next.js, Node.js. So it's not necessarily no code. So should we kind of change the prompt a little bit or something, maybe to get better
Not now. Not now. We'll talk about the tech stack in the upcoming, this thing,
all right.
prompts. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with React.js, Node.js. React.js is a good tool, is a good tech stack for building web and mobile both. React is, sorry, not web and mobile both, but iOS and Android both. It's cross-platform. React is for web apps instead. Okay, so that's fine. We'll talk about that. Okay, let's move on then. Move to the next step. Now we're going to have to be generating features with the ChatGPT. So now you're going to do, it's a very two-step process. You'll just put in a prompt. Here is the project brief and copy the project brief from the previous output. And then put in generate a list of key features and technical requirements for building this MVP. Let's do that. Copy paste the project brief from the previous steps. Timelines नहीं चाहिए, बस इतना चाहिए. You don't need to put in the timelines and the next step and dependencies. Or if you have any questions like this from like my output, you don't have to put that. Just put, whatever is relevant till this much, like success metrics. This is what is relevant in my output. Your output may be a little different. So look at your output and just put in what the main section is, the main area is. Timelines and all this is arbitrary, so you don't have to worry about that. Next steps and dependencies also arbitrary. You don't have to worry about that right now. Okay. So you put in like this and then give the last part of the prompt. So I've given this the prompt, and it is now going to give me the list of key features and technical requirements. So key features: node creation and editing, organizational tools, okay, folder structure, blah blah blah. Search and filtering, user authentication, makes sense. React, Vue, or Angular, choose any based on team expertise. UI components for text formatting, simple WYSIWYG editor or custom text fields. Okay. responsive design, backend. Okay, we need a GraphQL for CRUD, RESTful or GraphQL. We'll use RESTful framework, Node.js, and Python Node.js we'll use. Data modeling. Consider a straightforward schema. User nodes, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Database storage. Okay. Okay. Now, at this stage, if because you guys are just starting out, when you see something like this, yeah, database. So when you see something like this, database and storage, choice of DB being SQL and non-SQL, MySQL, Postgres, SQL, or non-SQL, MongoDB or Firestore, right? We are going to do a non-SQL for starting. I mean, once you have good understanding about non-SQL databases, you can then move to SQL databases, and we will be using Firestore, which is Firebase Firestore for that for starting. As you advance and as you get a more hang of how AI coding works and how database structures are created, how databases are connected to your front end, um, what functions, what storage. Once you get those kind of ideas, धीरे धीरे, you can move to more advanced and more better databases from Firebase, like Superbase, for example, Neon, for example, MongoDB, etc. Right? But for this, we can start with Firebase, and cloud storage. We'll be using Firestore for that. Shubhro, you have a question?
Yes, I wanted to see the prompt. Which one? Like you are after giving the brief, you have written something. So
हाँ, तो
what?
ब्रीफ लिखने के बाद मैंने यही लिखा है ना, जनरेट अ लिस्ट, यही वाला है, जनरेट a list of key features and technical requirements for building this MVP.
Understood.
Hmm. Have front end. For front end, I personally don't know Angular yet. I understand a little bit of React. So we can start using React, and you don't really have to understand React for now. But as we go into Cursor and all of that, you will start to understand React धीरे धीरे. And as you go and gain more experience, you will learn smaller concepts. And there is a way that you can ask Cursor, Windsurf, etc. questions, and it will answer you questions and explain you the code, etc. that is generated. So in fact, what you are going to do is just once you get this output, you are going to go and tell it explicitly that you need to rewrite it and make the tech stack as follows: front end, React plus. Start here, but as you gain more experience, you can choose other frameworks like Next.js, Vue.js, and so on. But React plus Vite is a good starting point. Start with that. TypeScript rather than JavaScript. Tailwind for a CSS. You can use any other. For example, I'm using Tailwind here. You can use any other. You can use Chakra UI. You can use any other CSS libraries. And yeah, that's it. That's the front end.
Pratim, I have a doubt.
Hmm.
So, like your chat GPT gave you a little about tech stack also, but mine, I think I don't have a paid version. So it talked about very basic thing that I need UI, UX and all. So it talked about the stages, but not about the particular tech stack. So is the tech stack same? Like what you are writing will be same for me?
No, what I'm writing right now, the tech stack is something that you should consider starting as just like a starting
Okay.
point. But if you have a
Okay.
good idea about all these that I'm writing right now, like TypeScript, React, TypeScript, and understand Tailwind, etc., you can go to the next level. The reason
Okay.
why your ChatGPT may not be giving you a tech stack is because probably you are using an older model like 4.0 or something,
Yeah.
3.5
Yeah.
before. But if you use something like an ON model, right, you will get a starting point to
Hmm.
start with. In fact,
Okay.
you can even ask if you're not clear about it. You can even ask you what are the dependencies that I have to install for it. Are
Okay.
there any APIs for it? You can ask for that. So that is fine. So backend Firebase for database authentication and storage. Right? So I can write this text stack and give it a prompt. It will rewrite the entire thing considering this text stack. See, it's given me that front end and then the back end. And see, the best part is it is also thinking about scalability in your response, in the response that it's giving me. कहाँ गया ये storage वाला? See here, storage, Firebase storage, it says hosts user updated files, which is understood. If note attachments or images are introduced later, right now in the features that it is given, it doesn't have that feature. But note attachments and images, if you introduce later, it will have that scalability if you have that. Right? So it has given me the entire thing. This is a good starting point for me to go to the next step. So just repeat this step, repeat this process, generate a list of features, and then let's move to the next step. Once you're done, please raise your hand.
I have one doubt.
Bolo.
So by default, it gave me sorry, it gave me Node.js as a backend framework. So now I just wanted to know, you recommended TypeScript. So is there a specific reason? Like,
TypeScript, the reason why I like TypeScript is because it has types, data types, etc., that it can validate very well. It is a very type-tight language as compared to, say, JavaScript, right?
understood.
Which means as a beginner and somebody who doesn't understand code well or doesn't write code well, it is going to be much easier for you to figure out TypeScript also,
Correct.
as in when you get the errors later.
Correct. I
So
prefer
यही
TypeScript.
reason है.
Correct. Correct. I prefer TypeScript only.
हाँ.
Sir, can you show the prompt?
यही है prompt. Who was asking?
दृष्टि
दृष्टि अच्छा. दृष्टि यही है prompt. ये देखो prompt. Here is the project brief. फिर project brief को paste करना है from the previous response, and then you have generate a list of key features and technical requirements for building this MVP. Simple prompt.
What you have put in recently?
Oh, अच्छा, this one.
हाँ.
इसमें I've just given the tech stack.
Okay.
Satya, you have a question?
No, I have raised for like I'm done.
अच्छा, sorry.
the moment you said you have a question एकदम से वो हट गया
I have another question.
Yeah, Shubham.
So my GPT is for some reason taking the original project overview and rewriting the front end, back end, those frameworks in it. While Yod one is properly taking the key features and technical requirements.
Acha.
The prompt is similar, but like same only. I've just copied it, but
What is the model?
it is chat. Okay, 1 minute. How to see the model? But
ये ऊपर ही
one
रहेगा ना
minute.
ऐसे.
ऊपर नहीं आ रहा है for some reason.
Okay.
हाँ, ChatGPT 4o.
हाँ वो 4O में थोड़ा सा ज्यादा पॉलिशिंग करना पड़ता है. So you have to keep
अच्छा.
telling it कि ये करेक्ट करो वो करेक्ट करो ऐसा. So just for so that you know, any model that is older than the O model of ChatGPT, अगर 4O है उससे नीचे कोई भी है तो ये प्रॉब्लम होगा. O O1 O1 mini और Pro में नहीं है ये प्रॉब्लम. That's the benchmarks. That's why the alternative that I use for ChatGPT now, because ChatGPT का O1 model is very costly and there's only very limited tokens even in the paid plan, right? $20 वाले plan में. That's why I use DeepSeek R1. So you can use that alternatively if you have ChatGPT limitations. And the
But
prompts work the same way.
okay.
DeepSeek.
Raktim, does O1 limit the number of prompts you can put in?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't see.
For unlimited O1, you need O1 Pro, that $200 वाला plan.
Oh, okay. ठीक
उतना
है.
पैसा मेरे पास तो नहीं है यार.
नहीं नहीं नहीं.
Okay, anybody done with the step so far?
Done, Raktim, completed till the tech stack.
हाँ ठीक है. ये आ गया ना फिर key features list you have, no Rakshit? Then
Yeah.
key features and technical requirements list you have.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Shruti done? Okay.
Yes.
Anyone else who's done?
I'm using
Yasha done?
DeepSeek.
Okay.
Just give me 2 minutes, okay?
Yes, done.
Yeah. Okay. Sahana
Hey
is
Raktim, I had a question.
हाँ.
So
Yeah, Vipin.
my initial prompt, like till project brief was on O1, and then even I faced the issue that I cannot enter more prompt. So for the right redefining basis on the backend and technical constraint, where we choose all those right REST APIs and all, I switched to 4.0, the model. So will it change
हाँ नहीं,
anything?
don't do that. Don't do that. Don't go from a higher model to a lower model. Go to a similar model if you can. So I would suggest if your ChatGPT tokens are out and you are using 4.0, instead you can go to DeepSeek. DeepSeek दिखाऊं क्या तुम लोगों को? एक मिनट.
Yeah, but so with O1, it was recommending me just a minute.
हाँ
So with O1, it was recommending me like PostgreSQL or MySQL. And
हाँ
on 4.0, when I mentioned let's do it with this Firebase for databases, it
हाँ.
automatically rechanged everything with Firebase. So the
Yeah.
backend and reporting also changed based on Firebase, and it started pointing out that this feature from Firebase can be used for analytics and reporting.
Oh yeah. That is good, no? That is good.
Yes.
right? So you can use DeepSeek. अरे यार ये वाला नहीं है. This also will give you the same kind of an output. So if I paste the same prompt ऊपर से लिखे,
Normal DeepSeek or sir DeepSeek R1? Like
DeepSeek R1 तुम्हें locally install करना पड़ेगा पहले
अच्छा,
करने के लिए, और that has got extra steps, but you can use this R1 from here, DeepThink. See this?
हाँ हाँ वही देखा मैंने, वही
हाँ,
है।
तो इसमें मैंने पेस्ट कर दिया वही सेम प्रॉम्प्ट जो मैंने चैट जीपीटी को दिया था. Here is the project brief and then the project brief and then last one, generate a list of key features, blah blah. And the best part about DeepSeek is that it tells you the entire thought process. ChatGPT भी बोलता है thought process, but ChatGPT kind of gives you a very small thought process to see. इतना सही है thought process. But if you look at here, it is talking about everything, and it will explain you the thought process properly. So that's why R1 is DeepSeek is making a lot of noise. And you see, there is not much difference in the response. It's talking about the same thing: folder management, search and filter, note metadata, blah blah. See, it's given me the same response actually as ChatGPT. ChatGPT में यही response दिया था ना इन्होंने. Okay. Yeah, note creation and editing, organizational tools, search and filter, all authentication. So it's given me the same kind of response, similar response. ये भी use कर सकते हो. Okay, so shall we move to the next step? Okay, I'll go to the next step now. The next step is to the brain for your AI, right? So now
So
it's just
stands that I only want to change the technical part, so it keeps the code features unchanged.
uh, yeah. Okay, we'll move on then. The next step is to draft the PRD. But for before we do the PRD, we will have to do some kind of prioritization out there. So now what we'll do is we'll do here is a list of the features and we'll paste the list. मेरा system क्यों अटक रहा है? Future enhancements नहीं चाहिए मेरे को, हटा दो इसको. बाकी ठीक है. ये intro text नहीं चाहिए. And below we'll write something like, please use the Moscow framework. I'm going to use the Moscow framework. You can use other frameworks also if you want to. Okay. So I've typed in the prompt and I've given the features. Now I'm going to go and generate the list. Vishnu, you have a question? You raised your hand.
No, last time it was raised.
अच्छा
Sorry.
ठीक है sorry yeah अभी आया मेरे सामने anyways we have the must haves, right? So must have for the database, and it makes sense, right? So if you look at this, node creation and editing, obviously node creation तो होना ही पड़ेगा because it's a node creation app. Basic organizational tools, folder structure, etc. Authentication होना पड़ेगा, I mean basic need, database and storage, and front end setup, search and filtering and deployment, basic need, basic must have. Should have would be the tagging system, autosave, onboarding flow, basic analytics and metrics, minimal error tracking, responsive design. Could have is advanced search, so on and so forth. And won't have, it has given me some features for the won't have. And then it's given me a summary of core note taking, must haves, should haves, could haves, and won't have for now. So you see, we got the list of features and then we prioritized it using a framework that is actually used everywhere else, the Moscow framework. So this is what is the next step for you guys. All you have to do is set up, set up your features list from the previous step and put it into a framework like Moscow so that you can prioritize the features. Mudit, you have a question?
Yeah, so after we like rewrote that tech stack
Mhm.
for front end, back end,
Mhm.
was there any other step in between that, or
No,
after
no, no,
that
no.
we?
नहीं जो front end stack and back the tech stack you defined no after the features you got an output with the all the feature list and the technical requirements.
Yeah.
After that is this step where you are prioritizing all those.
Okay.
Sir, we will feed only the features or also the technical requirements?
नहीं पूरा all the features and the technical requirements all of it.
Okay.
Some of you are quite quiet. How is it going for you? RBH, Shiva, Triveni? Okay, all good. Pavan, good. Okay.
It's like when you come from an exam and your parents ask, how was the exam? Everyone says, अरे बहुत अच्छा हुआ. Cause पता है रिजल्ट के बाद पिटना है इससे पहले अभी सेफ साइड चल लो.
तेरे को बहुत एक्सपीरियंस है ना योगेश इस चीज का?
अरे बहुत हर 6 महीने में होता था ना मेरे साथ तो. एवरी सेम सेमेस्टर वाला.
सही है. हो गया? Is it done? All of you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's
I'm
done.
still new. I wanted to ask so much in detail. Sorry, kya? RBH, I am still new. I wanted to ask so much in detail. Do we need to know the tech stack? You don't need to know the tech stack, but it helps to know the tech stack. Uh,
Question change.
how much? How much you know want to know this tech stack? What is the question? Sorry, I got confused now.
So he's like, ki, let him answer.
RBH, can you clarify the question?
You can unmute, bro.
Like how much detail? हाँ, how much detail नहीं, थोड़ा थोड़ा detail. Or little detail is fine, is good. And ChatGPT or any any LLM model is good to build the context for you. So अगर React है, then you can use certain things with React only. You know, you cannot use certain things with React. वैसे ही that much it is smart. That for that also you can ask pros and cons, when to use what will do. That you can ask ChatGPT and it will give you the answers. So you can talk about what is the app that you're trying to build and ask for a tech stack recommendation also. You know, what is the best tech stack that can help you build this? Or maybe you are comfortable with just one front end and you're not sure about what backend to use or what dependencies to use. Um, you can ask that I'm using front end React as front end. What should be the options? What are my options for backend? What are my options for a specific functionality like sending email, etc. So, okay, so contextual understanding of tech stack rather than nitty-gritty. Yeah, yeah. Context is king. Awesome. Thank you, RVH. Okay, all of you are done. Move to the next step then. Okay, so now you have the list of it. Now we have to go and create the PRD. So, but before we create the PRD, we have one more thing to do, which is to go to ChatGPT, copy this output that I got, and look for a custom GPT. Custom GPT का नाम क्या था? PRD expert, PRD AI for expert. So if you go to this PRD AI for product managers, if you go to, for those who don't know about custom GPT, if you go to explore GPTs here, you will get another window. You can search for AI for product, hey, chat PRD, sorry, chat PRD, and you will get this. You will have something like this, and you can start chat like that. I already have it added in my this thing. So I will just keep using this one. Why is my system so slow? Anyways, so what you are going to do is you're going to paste. You're going to paste the entire PR, the this thing, the prioritization from the Moscow, and remove the last paragraph over here, and type in based on the above, craft me a comprehensive PRD with detailed steps of implementation. So you write something like you paste the PR entire this thing, the prioritization that you've done from whatever framework, And then you'll say, based on the above, craft me a comprehensive PRD with detailed steps of implementation. And once you do that, it will create a PRD for you. So now it has given me a PRD. In the PRD, we have, oh yeah. In the PRD, we have the introduction, the TLDR, we have the problem statement, we have the goals, what are the business goals, what are the user goals, what are the non-goals, right? And then you have the user stories associated with this MVP, right? As a user, I want to create notes quickly and format text for readability. As a user, I want to do blah, blah, blah. And then it is talking about the user experience, which is the step-by-step flow. Assuming that I like everything that is here, and if you don't like anything, you can point out that I don't like the search, this thing, just make sure that search note, you can refer something like, okay, I don't like, what do I don't like here? Uh, there's nothing to not like here, but let's say if I don't like the not note creation here, you can just copy paste this over here and then tell it whatever the modification you want. I don't want the rich text area to support italics, for example. And then I'll just keep it that, and it will removing it. Got it, removing italics from the rich text. So it will just give me, rephrase that part for me. So you can keep modifying what it is given you. This is like the first version of the PRD it will give you. And then you can keep modifying from here on. Okay. So this is the next step in the process. Let's quickly complete this particular step. Everybody got it? Any questions? Can you please show the prompt? Huh. This is the entire PRD that I pasted. One second. Huh. So I just pasted the entire prioritization that you got, Sahana, from the previous step. And last May, I added one more, one line, which is based on the above, craft me a comprehensive PRD with detailed steps of implementation. That is basically the prompt.
So Raktam, this is the prompt after creating the PRD?
No, this is the prompt for creating the PRD.
Okay. Okay.
Pooja, limit for this ChatGPT you're talking about? So as Raktim sir said, you can use DeepSeek R1. You can switch there. No, that is not for chat PRT. That is for your chat GPT basically. So once you will have this chat GPT's credits again, you can have this. You can again start using this chat PRD.
Okay. So do you have the PRD now, Rakshit?
Yes, I have the PRD.
Okay. Is the PRD making sense to you?
It is. It
Awesome.
is.
Awesome. Shruti,
It is.
what about you?
Yes, sir, I also have one,
Huh.
and it completely makes sense now.
Okay, great. Tiyasha, Drishti, Shiva, Shubro,
Yeah,
anybody?
it's done.
Done?
Done and it's making sense.
Yes, PRD is making sense. So,
Okay. So guys, tell me anything. Have your PMs, you all are designers, and I'm assuming you have at least a year's experience. Any of your PMs have written a better PRD than ChatGPT?
No.
Actually, yes.
Actually, yes. Okay.
Yes. I worked with VP of product for a long time, so his work
हाँ
is way better than this.
हाँ, मतलब most experienced लोग तो अच्छा करेंगे ही. So if
Yes.
you're talking about a VP of product, I am assuming that this guy has at least 10, 12, 15 years of experience. So obviously it is
Yeah.
expected out of him.
17
But
years.
so yeah.
But point is, Vishnu, in case if you do back and forth with the chat GPT, na, you can reach there very easily.
Hmm.
Exactly, exactly. So I had that PRD with me, which he gave me, and I was comparing with it, like, what is that? Right.
हाँ तो
So that was more humanistic touch, right? It
नहीं,
is more of a
compare
technical one.
compare is not fair then, Vishnu. Uh, the
Yes, I know.
the comparison should be after you have prepped ChatGPT at least for an hour or whatever, at least for 30
Yeah,
minutes
yeah.
or 15 minutes. This is what you got just now is one iteration from ChatGPT.
Yes, yes.
Right?
But still, it's really good to have like more of a
Yes.
junior to a APM level. It's really good.
Ah, that's the whole point. Yes. Okay.
Go ask for the PM role tomorrow in your office.
Let's see what happens.
Did you get
हे
a
देंगे
chance to
पैसा के
ask that?
बदले में.
Yeah, I did.
Vila?
That's a personal thing.
Okay.
Then I will ask you personally.
For sure. You can ask for sure. But
Okay.
point is, do you really interested into the PM? PM role, sorry.
Paisa.
पैसा
पैसा सब पैसा.
पैसा मिलना चाहिए.
Okay. Anyways, I am assuming that everybody has the PRD now. Anybody who does not have the PRD? मुदित, हाँ क्या हुआ भाई? मुदित,
I've reached my chat GPT limit.
हाँ use R1 ना, DeepSeek.
Okay. So should I tell that like you are now a product manager and then you have to make a PRD?
हाँ, DeepSeek को थोड़ा context की जरूरत है. DeepSeek
Okay.
will need some more context. So you have to give some more context that you are a product owner and this is what you have. This is the features
Okay, then
list
give
and
me.
the rest of the prompt remains the same. करो हो जाएगा वो जल्दी आ जाएगा.
Can you show that prompt again?
Yeah. Based on the above, craft me a comprehensive PRD with detailed step of implementation. I'll put it here in the chat for you. ठीक है, let's move to the next step now, in the interest of time, and we only have less time left. So we have to now map out the pages and structure, right? So what we'll do is give the chat GPT this prompt, which says, based on the PRD and the core features mentioned, list all the pages, screens in detail to build for this MVP, to build for this MVP. Yeah. So now I'll go back to that old chat GPT that I was working on, because that old chat has all the context already. And now I'm going to give this prompt. And that's it. I don't need to paste anything. Or you can even paste the PRD if you want to. But I haven't copied it, but okay. Arey, yeah, shit. No, sorry. I have to paste it. I have to paste it. My bad. Sorry about that. I should have copied it. Okay, now I have copied it and I'll go back here. And edit it and paste the entire MVP. Delete the open questions. And that's it. Yeah. So now I'll paste that up. And now O1 will think about all the pages and screens that needs to be there for this particular app. So you see, it's given me the pages list, authentication pages, login sign up page, ठीक है, password reset page, okay, onboarding page, should have, okay, dashboard page, folder management, note editor page, search, etc. So it's given me the list of all the pages, and then putting it all together also it has given me. Right. So you see now you've got the list of all the pages. Now you know how many pages to be designed, right? Once you've done that, you then need to go and talk about asking it to give it a layout for you. So we'll start with not the landing page. We don't have a landing page here. We have, what pages do we have? Let's start with the dashboard homepage. And the description is here. I'll copy paste the description. And now I will just send it. So now it is going to give me
So the last step was to copy the PRD and ask for a brief on the pages, right?
so first you have to take this and
Hmm.
कहाँ गया यार एक तो मेरा system इतना slow चल रहा है. First you say based on this PRD and then
Hmm.
copy paste the PRD and the core
Hmm.
features mentioned, list all the pages screens in detail required to build this MVP. पहले
ठीक
list
है.
बना लो कि सारे pages कौन कौन से हैं. Identify all the
Hmm.
pages first and then get into the basic, give the basic requirements from that output for per page to expand and give you a layout.
Got it.
So now you see it has given me the layout. And this is the, you see, it's giving me markdowns, right, for different places. And as you can see, all the filters, etc. So it's given me all the elements. Sorry, कोई कुछ बोल रहा था क्या?
I was telling, can you show the layout wala prompt?
Layout वाला prompt, हाँ. Here are the basic requirements for the whatever page, and give me the page layout, use markdown, and then नीचे उसके paste करना जो description दिया था पिछले output में, list वाले output में.
Did you give the basic requirement for landing page before writing this prompt?
Basic. Sorry, what is the question? Did
So
I
this
give?
prompt,
Huh.
yeah, so this last prompt, it mentions that like here are the basic requirement for landing page. So did you give information regarding
Yeah,
the
yeah,
landing
yeah,
page?
yeah, yeah, yeah. ये देखो ना मेरे prompt को. See the prompt that I gave for the details, right? So here are the basic requirements for the dashboard homepage. Give me the page layout, use markdown, and then उसके बाद जो description दिया था ना ऊपर वाले list वाले page में वो paste कर दिया
Okay.
यहाँ पे.
Okay, so this is just for the homepage.
This is
And
just for
then,
the. You have to do this for each page, every page.
okay.
So all the pages you got right for the list from the list page. Like in my case, I got node editor page, folder management page, modal, whatever, dashboard page, authentication page, onboarding page, etc. हर एक के लिए you have to do this layout thing, layout वाला prompt.
Yeah. Okay.
Raktim, like in your case, it created a markdown of a particular section, then explained it. In my case, it gave me a full markdown as a, like it gives your code, right? Gave me a full markdown. Is that response okay? So yeah, so this is missing the header nav. It has given me the above part, but not the, contents below it.
Yeah. So outputs will differ. And again, it depends. I think it is the model that is making the difference for you, Rakshit.
Right. Okay.
So this is also okay, na? Like how we are getting, like
You are
as in
getting
code.
like one box like this, right? For everything. हाँ,
Hmm.
वो भी चलेगा, वो भी चलेगा.
Like I use DeepSeek.
हाँ,
Paid giving the whole code.
हाँ.
Okay.
अच्छा, DeepSeek is going to give you the code ना, I think.
It's giving code और फिर नीचे थोड़ा
Yeah.
बहुत explanation.
HTML code.
Yeah.
Really? It's giving you HTML code.
Yeah, like even though I've mentioned to give markdown.
या DeepSeek में मैंने ना ये किया नहीं है अभी तक.
Yes, DeepSeek is giving HTML code while ChatGPT is giving the like a normal like GitHub README sort of.
Right.
It's giving markdown like that. Okay.
So क्या करें, किसका यूज करें?
नहीं, दोनों का एडवांटेज है. बताता हूँ अभी, एक सेकंड. एक बार आ जाए. यहाँ पे दिख रहा है तुम्हें रन HTML. it is also going to show you how it looks like, right?
Okay.
That's the advantage of this one. But वैसे, because we are going to use anything like something like a Bolt or a V0 to generate the AI, the UI anyway, we don't particularly like this. We rather would prefer like this, rather like this. आया सबको ये वाला आउटपुट? ऐसा आउटपुट आ गया? I mean, you got the layout for one page.
Yes.
Okay, great. Look at some more people. Pradyumna, you got an output? Triveni,
Yeah.
you got the layout, page layout, first page layout?
Like it's all in text. So logo positioned on the top left corner. This is okay, right? How yours is, it's different. It's all
No,
text
mine
in
is also
chat
same
GPT.
only. No, no, Baba, mine is also same only. It is just the layout that it is talking about separately. See, no, it
Okay.
is talking about header placement,
Hmm.
top of the page, spanning the full width.
Hmm. Got
उसका इस हेडर का एक ब्रेकडाउन दे दिया इसने मार्मेट ने,
Hmm.
है ना?
Okay.
कंपोनेंट कौन कौन से
Hmm.
हैं? ये वाला लोगो वाला कंपोनेंट है, सर्च वाला कंपोनेंट है, यूजर प्रोफाइल वाला आइकन वाला
Hmm.
कंपोनेंट है. It is
Check.
giving me a more structured output than what you are getting using 4o. That's the only
Got it.
difference.
Got it.
Cool. So now we will take this entire piece and go to the most interesting stuff, which is Bolt. We'll go to Bolt, and over here at Bolt, you have to do two things. First, you have to go back. Ideally, what you will do is take that PRD and save it in a markdown file that I will not show today, but you just save it in another place. But मैंने नहीं किया है, तो मैं यहाँ पे जाऊंगा अभी. Hmm. And in this part where we have the intro part, no, or the PRD, where it gave me the TLDR, remember, at the top, here, this TLDR, I'll copy, and then I'll put it here, and then I will go back to the layout wala output, and then copy paste the entire thing. बीच में यहाँ पे इतना लिखना है, we want to start with the UI first. Let's start with the whatever page you are doing. In my case, it's the home page. And then you just paste it and remove the last line from here. So you're given the entire prompt, and let's see if magic can happen. And it has started writing the code. Sorry, कोई कुछ बोल रहा था क्या?
Can you please show us again what we have to write here?
Yeah,
अभी
yeah.
तो आपने add किया.
Can we do this on V0?
Yeah, yeah. Let's do that.
Okay.
Actually, let's do one thing. Let's copy this entire ऐसे नहीं होगा, but let's copy this first part. Right, and then I'll put in the page description. ये था ना page description. Sorry.
So you're copying the final layout which is generated. The markdown wala.
पूरा का पूरा with the description,
Understood.
and then I'll send it across. So it has already given me a note, a home page for the note page. No, this one.
Yeah, I got a result. Yeah.
Sorry guys, my laptop is behaving weird. So this is the output from V0, right? And this is the output from Bolt, right? It is not responsive. You have to make it responsive by prompting it. Now from here, because you all are designers, you can keep modifying things, right? You can give it a color guide. Let's say I want to have some color guide. Let me pick a random color guide. Adobe Colors.
You
चलो let's
said
take.
Bolt is
हाँ
not responsive.
नहीं नहीं हाँ बोल्ट वाला responsive नहीं आया, आउटपुट responsive नहीं आया मेरे वाले में, as you can see.
अच्छा.
It is responsive, but it is not fully responsive yet, as you can see.
Understood.
तो इसको responsiveness fix करना पड़ेगा. V0 में भी जो आउटपुट आया है, it is not fully responsive, I am thinking. हाँ पूरा responsive तो नहीं है. Responsive है लेकिन पूरा नहीं है, थोड़ा बहुत है. So let's take this one. Yes, CSS. हाँ. Copy as CSS and give bold the colors. Use the following colors for the UI. And I've just given it a color from now randomly, but obviously your style guides, when you are doing, you would be defining colors, right? What is your primary color? What is your secondary color? What is your background? Primary background, secondary background, tertiary background, modal color, icon color, active state color, blah, blah, blah. You will be defining. That I haven't defined. But if you have a Figma, if you have worked on tokens in Figma so far, right? And if you have generated using variables, you can export all of that and put it here and then give it this thing. So I've given some colors randomly. It will pick random colors right now. But if you define it better, like how you are defining in your style guide, it will do that. And I'll do the same thing with B0. V0 में मेरे पास पेड प्लान नहीं है, तो ये जल्दी टोकन्स खत्म हो जाएगा. तो जब तक टोकन खत्म नहीं होता तब तक दिखा सकता हूँ विष्णु में इस चीज को V0 का, बट उसके बाद नहीं दिखा पाऊंगा.
Okay, just experimenting around actually.
Yeah. So it's taken the color. See, now it's looking beautiful, no?
Yes.
It is still taking the colors.
Raktim, what's the prompt you have used in the Bolt?
For the colors?
No. The first one.
The first one? The first one, nothing. I just gave, okay. First one, all you have to do is just paste the TLDR from the PRD first.
Okay.
Then you type in one line, which is we want to start with the UI first. Let's start with the home page or whatever page you are designing. And
Okay.
then below that, you will put in, paste in the entire layout that you got from the previous
Got it.
output for that particular page.
Got it. Thanks.
Awesome.
And for the colors, what prompt to use?
For the colors, I just gave it, use the following colors for the UI. I just gave random colors, but ideally in a real world scenario, you will have some kind of a brand guidelines, right? With primary colors, primary background, secondary background, button color, ye, wo, like that you will have, right? You can paste that.
Cool, thanks.
Let's see. V0 ने color अच्छा नहीं लिया. So this is what is you need to modify, right? Keep telling, no, 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 I don't like this color, use that color, whatever. If you do this, but if you specify, primary color is this, ideally you should have a list of primary color, secondary color, tertiary color, alternate color, primary background, secondary background, primary text, secondary text, primary button, secondary button, and line colors. That's all. That इतना बहुत है usually. So you see, I have generated this note app now. Now I don't have anything, any functionality here. Nothing is working. Now, if you go back to the list of pages,
We are getting messages that the results are so amazing.
really, where? Okay.
The chat session. We would like to see this in a end.
Yeah, we will want to see that. But I just want to move on so that you kind of have the entire process, and you can obviously take time in your free time to play more with this. And I can assure you, at least जिसको interest आएगा, उसको तो ये addiction जैसा लगेगा. So,
We
हाँ,
This is what
अभी से
happened
लग
with
रहा है
the
एक्चुअली.
अभी से लग रहा है ना? हाँ. So
When I
if you
change
see,
it to like उसका neo brutalist कर दिया उसका style and it is so crazy. I mean, crazy
I
man.
want to see your,
Thank
I
you.
want to see your new brutalist style, Shiva.
मैं WhatsApp के ना उस पर डालता हूँ तो आई गेस सबको दिख
हाँ,
जाएगा.
सबको दिखेगा फिर. बढ़िया बढ़िया.
हाँ
इसमें
हाँ
डाल.
डालता हूँ. होवर भी हो रहा है. It's crazy. होवर भी हो रहा है.
Yeah.
I'll show it.
Awesome. So, and this is not the end, this is just the front end, right? But we still have to do the back end and all. But I'm just going to download this project. I just downloaded it. Or you can do one more thing is you can open it in Slack Blitz. And यहाँ से you can rename the project notes, my demo notes app, right? And then pocket so that this code base is saved for you. You can create a repository from here, which means that you're committing the code to GitHub. But if you want to do it here, you can do it here if you're using free accounts. I do it here all the time and then take it from here. So let's do that actually. I'll create a repository and I'll name this as my demo notes app.
Sorry to cut, but Shiva, this looks I can't use that word, but this looks
Yeah,
amazing.
exactly. I was in wow. I was like मेरे को बोलना पड़ेगा. कब से शांत
अच्छा
बंदे के लिए बोलना
अच्छा बोल
पड़ेगा.
रहे हो तुम लोग या फिर गंदा बोल रहे हो ये तो बताओ.
Check your WhatsApp, boss.
Check your WhatsApp. Yeah.
Okay. So create repository you will have to do here. Okay, this is nice, yeah. This is nice output, Vishiva. Create हो गया क्या repo? Shit. Okay. So the repo is created. As you see, the repo got created. Right. You can pull this on cursor or windsurf. I'll open this both. विंडसर्फ में एक और प्रोजेक्ट खुला हुआ है मेरा ऑलरेडी, सॉरी। Okay. So you see, if you have this kind of an icon, source control icon, you'll have this kind of source control icon on the left hand side. This is for both cursor and cursor में नहीं है क्या? This will create problem for me. So cursor is a little different. You have to go and search for this particular menu, source control wala, and then do that. Chalo, anyways, I'll show you on this one first, then we'll come back to that. So clone repository, if you go, you can go from GitHub, and then you can see that all my repositories are listed. Obviously, it will, if you're doing it the first time, it will ask you to connect your GitHub repository with Windsurf and all. You can do that. But once you do that, you will be able to access your GitHub repository. So I have my demo notes app, and I'll just press that. It will ask me where I want to save it. I would want to save it into projects folder, and I'll create a new folder. My new notes example, and I will select repository destination. So the repository now got saved in that folder. Yes, I trust the editors because I am only the editor. I'll open the terminal, and I have Cascade. This is the chat mode here. Just so that you know, for all of you who are not well versed with Windsurf, Windsurf में ना we have two more areas here. One is write and one is chat. When you are writing, you are giving Windsurf the ability to write, rewrite, and modify your code. When you are chatting, you are just chatting, just talking to Windsurf. Okay. Over here, you can add message images. If I have to add any image for my reference, I can add an image. कोई भी image, I can add this image and then give it that. Right. If I have to mention something, I can mention from the web, resources from the web if I have to refer. I can give code context items. I can refine a file. If I go to file, I'll see all these files that are there, and I can refer that file. Or you can refer entire directories. In this case, we have only one directory, which is the src directory. Or you can refer to docs. So, and some easy docs are already available. So that are available here. So you can refer to some docs also if you have to. Okay, so this is the purpose of the entire cascade bit. So once you have loaded your project in Windsurf, you need to open the terminal. You can access the terminal from here. Just click on new terminal, and over here, make sure that the path that it is showing is the exact path that you are on the folder. Just ये check करने वाली चीज है, करने के लिए कुछ नहीं है इसमें, but just to check that. And the first thing that you are going to do is npm install. So it's going to install all the dependencies that this project is using automatically from the web. You should have an active internet connection. That's about it. And once it installs, yeah, it's all installed now. So it installs 65 packages, blah, blah. And then once it is done, then you have to do npm run dev. And once you've done npm run dev, it is now running locally on your computer. Command click, या फिर विंडोज में क्या होता है योगेश? कंट्रोल क्लिक, हाँ. सो कमांड क्लिक करोगे तो ये जो पेज हमने डिजाइन किया था वो locally खुल जाएगा. So there you go. Locally खुल गया है ये. This is locally, local host. Now, as you can see, there are some problems here that we did not identify when we were in bold, which is this background, right? Simply tell that which page is this? This is the notes page, home page. So यहाँ पे now this is where you need to start learning about how to read code, right? So app.tsx is the main app file, and this is where everything is contained. Now you will take this file and then look at what else? Index.html, right? Index.html is got the title of your site. Now, what is the title of the site? If I go here, you see it's saying Byte plus React plus TS. I want to call it whatever the site is. Uh, my new notes app example. ठीक है? And as I do it, the real-time update is happening here. We need to modify the background, so I'll just take this and I'll say at app.tsx the page background is not it is cutting out. Let's fix that. And it will take a look at, oh, I was in the chat, by the way, sorry. It should have been in the right if I wanted Windsurf to do it directly. But if you keep it in the chat, it will do what it needs to do, but the control is with you whether to apply it or not. And what this numbers are doing is that it is saying that it has written 68 lines of code. Yeah, 1 minute. There are 68 insertions, 66 deletions, and 67 lines were unchanged, right? And it will tell you what all it did. Added a new wrapper, blah, 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 whatever. If I go back, now you see that background is not, it still did not fix it. But you can fix it just like this. You have to keep telling and talking about it. So if I go and do preview, it will tell you this red wala is, all the lines that got deleted. Green are the ones that the lines got added, right? So if you do this, check this, and then you do apply, you will be able to accept them manually. And you can click on this, accept all files. So changes will happen like this. Oh, okay. Okay. अच्छा sorry, apply नहीं किया था मैंने. So you see the background now got applied. पहले it was cutting out from here, no? If you remember. Yeah, Shubro.
So the chat you said it gives you suggestions based on the prompt, and you have the control is in your hands. How many you want? It's like find and replace. So
हाँ
it gives you the things, and you can check. And where did you say directly it applies the thing?
हाँ वो right वाले में वो उसका example अभी दिखाता हूँ.
अच्छा ठीक.
हाँ. Tiasha, yeah, you have a question?
Yeah. Also, what about that logo that you changed? वो आपने फाइल पे चेंज किया था ना कोड में जाके.
लोगो नहीं
So,
चेंज किया था, सिर्फ टेक्स्ट साइट नेम चेंज किया था.
okay, got it.
सी ना, पहले रिएक्ट वाइट ऐसे करके कुछ आ रहा था ना. So now site
Hmm.
name is coming my new notes app example.
Okay. आप
Right?
मतलब proper rewrite कर सकते हो even on the code itself.
Yeah, why not?
Hmm.
So I want to change this. This is my new notes app example is not correct. This app is supposed to be called Notes Spa, right? So I'll go to index.html. You just need to know which code is located where, right? Because I know it with practice, I know this. But once you start practicing, you will be able to know. So I'll just replace
Got
this
it.
with Notes Spa. And then once I save it, अभी इधर आऊंगा ना मैं Notes Spa दिख रहा है,
ठीक है, got it, got it.
right? So this is how you do the modification. To answer Shubro's question on the responsiveness, Let's ask, go to write mode, open a new cascade, and ask the page app.tsx is not fully responsive. Let's make the app fully responsive for desktop, uh, desktop, tablet, and mobile views. Make the adjustments needed in the layout. Make it responsive. ठीक है? So I've just given this, and now I don't need to do anything. I'm not touching. It will do automatically. It will look up what it needs to do. Shubro, this is your to your question. So it will look up what it does, what needs to be changed, what needs to be done, and it will auto apply all of them.
So both these types where you have the manual control and where it does the changes, both are accessed from the same location.
हाँ, चैट कहाँ हैंडी आता है उसका भी एग्जांपल देता हूँ मैं अभी, रुक जाओ एक मिनट. Once it stops generating, write is simple, right? You just give it a prompt, it will do what it has to do, and it is looking up the code now. Once it finishes,
Acha,
so
that
it's started making the changes.
toggle was the thing, write and chat.
Yeah, write and chat, these are two toggles, right? So header improvements, sidebar enhancements, main content adjustments, mobile specific features, blah blah. So it made some changes and it has added breakpoints now. Okay, when I accept it, if I may accept it or may not accept it, so itna agar hai, so then I'll go back to the live environment, see if it is actually responsive or not now. हाँ अभी see, it is working responsive. पहले तो ये नहीं हो रहा था. देख रहे हो? It has added the hamburger menu. It's added this. So it's become my fully responsive now. If I change the device, let's say I changed it to a iPad, it's now giving me iPad resolution. It's fully responsive now. Okay. I can choose another device example के लिए. Right. So it's fully responsive now. It's made the responsiveness changes. It has made the responsiveness changes that it needed to do. Right. And then so I can accept it. I accept it. When I accept it, the changes that were made just now are actually committed to the code. Commit नहीं किया था, फिर सिर्फ प्रीव्यू दिखा रहा था, करके तुम्हें प्रीव्यू दिखा रहा था सिर्फ. ठीक है? Where does the chat thing comes really handy is when you are doing backend stuff. Because me particularly, I'm talking about personally my side. I am not very good, or rather, I do not have any knowledge about backend, for that matter. So and for your example, if you want to understand, let's say, what does this part of the code do, right? What is this const notes, right? You can just chat. एक मिनट नया chat खोल देता हूँ so that you can understand better. So if I go there and I select this part and I select chat, code, file and line number reference हो गया, ठीक है ना? अभी I can ask, explain what this code chunk do. Shuro, you know a little bit of coding. Does this make sense, this answer?
Yes.
Right?
Like it is it's like a superpower
It is a superpower.
because developers also have a lot of time and effort to understand code bases. So it is a big headache.
Yeah. So, and this is not for this. I can show you some complex code base also, and in complex code bases also you will be able to get this. ये तो बहुत simple example था. If somebody knows coding, you'll know this is ये क्या ही पूछा, ये तो simple question था. But if you have a complex question, you can ask and it will very well explain it. This is also how you learn coding. If you do reverse psychology or reverse methods if you apply, you can learn coding like this also. किसने बोला वीडियो देख के कोर्स लेके सीखना है कोडिंग? ऐसे भी सीख सकते हैं. Okay, so that's my demo for today. That's Windsurf. I can do the same thing in Cursor also. The only difference is the cursor works a little differently, and I'll pull up that same folder. Projects, mining, example. And I'll load that project. I'll just exit out of Windsurf right now. Close folder. Quit. जो ढूंढ के उस टाइम पे नहीं मिल रहा था वो यहाँ पे है by the way. You can get your source control from here for cursor. I was telling it is a little different. I don't use cursor so much. I like Windsurf better, but it's the same thing. And you'll see why I like that better. टर्मिनल मैंने खोल लिया, कंट्रोल एल से मेरे को ये कंपोजर वाला पार्ट खुल गया. ठीक है, इसमें भी चैट एंड कंपोज है. ये same thing that it does with how you show what I showed you in Windsurf. Just the UI is different, and terminal works the same way. I'll just run from this environment once. Okay. Now I want to add the modal, right? So let's say you finished your bold tokens. How do you continue development, right? The way you continue development is, again, you go out here. Here are the basic. I'll create the next page basically now. Okay. कहाँ है मेरा next page? चलो ठीक है, फोल्डर मैनेजमेंट पेज मॉडल यही कर लेते हैं. I haven't read it, but let's say it is okay. Quick demo के लिए दिखा रहा हूँ. What we will do is we'll come here, we'll create a new folder, call it instructions, and under instructions we'll add a new file, calling it, what was the page? What was this page?
app.tsx.
नहीं अरे ये app.tsx नहीं, ये कौन सा
Folder,
पेज को expand किया?
folder,
Folder कुछ था, हाँ, folder कुछ तो था.
folder management.
Folder management page. So I'll create a new file called folder management page.md. Pages, ये spaces खत्म कर देना है. And I'll just put it here. And now I will put the response from ChatGPT. And paste it here. And I'll just guide this one, composer here. Look at folder management MD and design and create the page. Make sure the colors and style are on brand. एंड ये चालू हो गया। हाँ शुभ्रो बोलो।
So you said that you have been exploring this um, Bolt and V0. When I first logged into Cursor, it said that it had some tokens or credits. So based on that, these are some of them are not free, some of them are have a limitation. Which of them gives good quality code? Like I saw one AI generated code, it did not have global components like we have in Figma. It didn't have global components in React or those things. It was one thing I saw, but mostly it was good.
कौन सा?
So
Which one did you see?
No. So Suvro, for that purpose, now you can specifically mention. So to give context, Satyam sir, Suvro is saying that under the app.tsx, the whole application is getting loaded. But earlier, जैसे we have a multiple components. कि ठीक है वो component दूसरी जगह पे है, वहां से एक component import होके app के अंदर आ रहा है, and then it is getting loaded. This is what you're saying, Suvro, right? So you can specifically mention ki make it component wise, make it like reusable components. So what that will do is like it will make a component का एक अलग से folder जहाँ पे your every section will be converted into the components and that components will be stored under that folder. और फिर
ये
जो
देखो ना
app
बन गया, ये बन गया, देखो कंपोनेंट बन गया ना, फोल्डर मैनेजमेंट पेज। अब इसमें इसमें इसने एक ही बार में बना दिया है सब कुछ, बट अगर मेरे पास और भी कंपोनेंट्स होते इसमें, you know, if I want to make it more granular so that it is manageable, you can do that. I can just simply keep mentioning, separate out the components or whatever.
so which one is like more robust as you have seen till now? Maybe out of V0, Bolt, Cursor, Windsor.
Yeah, it depends. If you want to build a Next.js project in the front end, go for V0. If you want to build any other project, Angular से लेकर के React का any other framework, go for
Vue.
Bolt. हाँ, Vue, जितने भी हैं बाकी, go for Bolt in that case. If you want to make Python, who knows, you want to make a Streamlit app or something like that, then go for Replit. Neither of them is good. Python is out of scope for today's topic. बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाएगा वो. But yeah.
And if someone wants to create mobile apps through no code things like Flutterflow,
Cursor है ना? Cursor
Cursor.
बनाएगा.
Okay.
But Raktim, which Cursor is making the backend, helping us with the backend, but which will help us with the front end for that? Bolt, I tried, it was not doing it.
Sorry, Cursor is helping with what?
Cursor is helping us with the backend functionality also.
हाँ.
Right. But in Bolt, I was trying to do the front end for a mobile app, but it did not produce that result.
Bolt will not do mobile app. Bolt will only do web apps. Well,
Okay. So which no-code tool is there that we can use for creating mobile app, front end of the mobile app?
वही कर्सर बता रहा हूँ ना.
अच्छा,
कर्सर
cursor
से ही
दोनों
हो
काम।
जाएगा.
अच्छा.
कर्सर से सब हो जाएगा. कर्सर से भी हो जाएगा, विंडसर्फ से, because cursor and windsurf are IDEs, guys, and the other ones are in browsers. It is the same difference that you have between Photoshop and Canva.
Right.
Sorry, bad example, but ha. So I created this page. Would you like me to show how to get it? Yes. Set up routing to this page and also tell me how to access it locally. So see, if persistent navigations has to be informed, so it's talking about persistent navigation. I never talked about persistent navigation in so far in the prompting, as you have seen. It is by itself proactively telling that you will need persistent navigation for this. It will give you folder structure, apply, page.tsx. Okay.
So also, what are the pros and cons you have seen with the Cursor and Windsor free trial? Like Cursor is like just 2 weeks, I think.
कर्सर सर 2 weeks नहीं यार, कर्सर बहुत पुराना है,
नहीं,
एक साल।
मतलब free trial.
Free trial is talking about.
हाँ, I think it is a 2 weeks or something, yeah. Not sure को कितना टाइम था उसका फ्री ट्रायल। I'll just check. Wait a second.
I think it's 2 weeks only.
Yeah.
I'm checking. It is 2 weeks. पर Windsor का free, the credits what it is difficult to understand by what does it mean.
So bro, like every prompt you give, it takes 1 credit.
Okay,
So you have to be very careful when you are giving a prompt,
understood.
because once your prompts are over, then either तो you buy the prompts again, ठीक है, you buy the
Understood.
credits again, or else you sit and wait for the next month.
Understood. Okay.
ओके, अब देखो यहाँ पे मैंने कुछ किया जो मैंने पढ़ा नहीं था और ऐसे ही करता गया, तो बिना पढ़े करोगे तो यही होता है जो मेरे साथ हुआ है अभी अभी, है ना, which is that you got the CSS off, but why I know what happened here. So what I will do is I'll just keep copy paste this part, show you that folder management wala page. Yeah.
We already started getting the responses on the group with the pictures the people have created.
Okay. So the point here is, yeah, we'll have to get into bug finding here. But the point here that I'm trying to make is if you read this and don't just keep blindly committing like how I was doing just right now, you will avoid all of these problems. And you can see that there are some problems. You have to go into troubleshooting mode now. You just ask, fix with AI. You can do, yeah. See, it's fixing that. So like that, you have to go and fix all of these things. So it is not that AI will not have errors. It will have errors. You have to be doing the vigilance work here. Okay. Similar to this process that I've shown, from here on, you can continue building the rest of the front end and then connect with the back end. If you think that back end connection nahi ho pa raha hai, put in the group. I'm okay to do another session on backend integration, and we can talk about backend integration and API integrations in the same call. So I think we are over time by a margin, by a lot of margin. We'll finish the session today, and thank you for joining, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. I want to really see anybody got a very good output. I saw one output from Shiva. Vishnu, okay. विष्णु ये क्या बनाया है, शुगर इनटेक, डेली इनटेक, अच्छा कुछ और है।
But it is like sugar tracking, somewhere similar to calorie tracking. So you can like enter whatever you have eaten and it will tell you how much sugar you have. So I need to
Got it.
refine that. उसका बार वाला थोड़ा कलर का इशू आ गया है. But I was trying lovable, right? Like critical thing.
Same thing. Lovable, by the way, lovable and bold work the same way. I haven't talked about lovable, didn't want to confuse you guys, but lovable and bold work the same way. Lovable थोड़ा expensive है. I think it is $50 or $30, something like that.
Free का ही है अभी तो.
हाँ मतलब वो कुछ टोकन्स फ्री है ना, उसके बाद तो खत्म हो जाएगा, तेरा लिमिट खत्म हो जाएगा दिन का, फिर तेरा डेवलपमेंट भी खत्म हो जाएगा दिन का। तो या ओके, मुदित ने क्या बनाया, बोरो बडी। ओके,
It's a borrowing app. So I thought a mobile app, but I didn't knew that इसमें मोबाइल का नहीं बनेगा। थोड़ा सा वो गड़बड़ हो गया, बट रिजल्ट अच्छा है।
ठीक है रिजल्ट, आई मीन इसको और प्रेप करोगे, मॉडिफाई करोगे, करते
हाँ
जाओगे तो फिर बढ़िया बनेगा।
हाँ, so features are not according to web app अभी ना, अभी वो फोन वाले कोई लेके उसने वेब में कन्वर्ट कर दिया, but it is good.
Yeah. I mean, this is a good starting point. Have you
Yeah.
done coding before, Mudit?
No, I'm not
This is
from
first
coding.
time.
Yeah.
तब तो एडिक्शन लगेगा तुम्हें इसका. Okay. Shruti, really good login page, yaar. Amazing.
The
Yes,
UI
actually,
intake.
even I liked it.
बहुत बढ़िया. Amazing. Pratik. Oh, welcome project. This is project management kind of app, it seems. Nice. I like the gradient and this thing. For our, if you can keep prepping it a little more, you will get modifications and better result out here. Nice, nice. Good job, guys. Shubhro, you made anything?
I'm sharing.
हाँ भाई तू भी शेयर कर.
Sir, can we get the recording of the session? Like, I literally lost everything after the export thing, the export we did in Bolt.
Sorry, what was that, Shruti? I missed it.
Recording.
I was asking for the recording.
Recording YouTube पे आएगा. जैसे तुम्हारा
Okay,
final
no
session आया
problem.
था ना, cohort वाला वैसे ही.
Yes, got it.
Okay, I think that's pretty much it. I will end the recording. I'm okay to hang out for another 10 minutes. If you have any questions,